This is Long Island Ducks baseball.
Justin Davies at the plate, the winning run at third. Crowd going nuts. Swung on, bouncing ball left side, off the mitt, up third baseman Brad Strauss. Here comes Willie Rodriguez. Justin Davies has done it again. The Ducks are one flag away from the championship. Jason Johnson makes the catch. He makes the catch, and the Long Island Ducks have swept the Camden River Sharks. They are the 2004 Atlantic League champions. Line butt up the third baseline. Esquivel charging in. They're not going to have a play, and the Ducks are the champions of the Atlantic League here in 2012. Going back is Adam Bailey. He settles under it. He makes the catch. Adam Bailey makes the catch, and for a second straight year, the Atlantic League trophy will reside on Long Island. The Ducks are the Atlantic League champions.
And now it's time for the Long Island Ducks North Shore LIJ Southside Hospital pregame show.
And a pleasant good evening and welcome in to Waldorf, Maryland, where today the Long Island Ducks take on the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs in an interdivision matchup of the Atlantic League of Professional Baseball. Today the Ducks enter overall 50-46 this season, 10-17 in the second half, while the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs enter 43-54 overall this season and 14-13 in the second half this season. Well, hello everybody, my name is Mark Schwartz and welcome into the broadcast booth. I will be providing the play-by-play commentary for tonight's ball game as the Ducks look to make it 2 consecutive wins over the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Long Island again entering this ball game 10-17 in the second half, and as we look over the Liberty Division standings, as we get closer and closer towards the last month of this regular season, the Ducks are currently 6.5 games behind the Somerset Patriots for first place. Somerset in first place with a 17-11 record. The Ducks are in last place in the Liberty Division. Still a lot of baseball left to be played. Camden's in second, 4.5 behind Somerset, and Bridgeport's in third, 5 behind the Somerset Patriots. The Ducks' second half record pretty much it's as low as it is primarily because of their 13-game losing streak earlier in the second half. But Long Island has bounced back well after that 13-game losing streak and in fact have won 8 of their last 12 games, put them back within the conversation for the second half. And the one thing to keep note of as we progress further into the second half of the season is that it might be beneficial for Long Island to have the Somerset Patriots win the second half, because if that were to be the case, then the Ducks would be more fortuitously positioned in a wild card race in which they would go up against the likes of the Sugarland Skeeters and the Lancaster Barnstormers for 2 of the final 2 playoff spots that are available in the Atlantic League. Because Somerset already won the first half and because the York Revolution already won the first half in the Freedom Division, if those 2 teams were to win their respective divisions again, then things would get a little more interesting and the Ducks would have an opportunity to make the playoffs as a wild card team with the next best overall record. Hypothetically, if it were to be Camden or Bridgeport that would go on a tear and win the second half in the Liberty Division, then the Ducks would be out of luck and Long Island would miss the postseason. So for Long Island, best case scenario is either they make a huge run in the rest of this second half and winds up taking the second half title in the Liberty Division, or it's Somerset that wins the division, and then you have to go to the wild card, and then it's Long Island trying to fight up against both the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, the Sugarland Skeeters, and the Lancaster Barnstormers. Southern Maryland is in the midst of a very tight race in the Freedom Division right now. All 4 teams in that division are separated by just 2 games. Sugarland Skeeters are in first place with a 16-11 record, but the Blue Crabs, the York Revolution, and the Lancaster Barnstormers all tied in second, 2 games behind the Skeeters with matching 14-13 records. But as we look at the wild card standings overall, Long Island currently 4 games behind Sugarland for the wild card, but in this, and there's a lot of variables to go along with it, if Sugarland were to win the Freedom Division outright, then they would no longer be in contention for a wild card spot. They would have one of the last 2 playoff spots locked up, and then the Ducks would just need to leapfrog the Lancaster Barnstormers for that final playoff spot, assuming it were the Somerset Patriots to win the Liberty Division. And right now, Somerset's been playing great baseball, not only in the second half, but all season long. So it seems like a pretty tall order to try to leapfrog the Patriots, but anything's possible. Again, here we are on August 7th. There's still about a month and a couple of weeks left in the season, about a month and a half left. So a lot of baseball left to be played. and a lot of opportunities for the Ducks to leapfrog their opponents. They've been playing well as of late, and they'll look to continue that moving forward. Tonight, we get set for the second game of a 3-game series between the Ducks and the Blue Crabs, and it's a nice team for Long Island to go up against here, as they've had a lot of success against the Blue Crabs, not only this season, but even dating back to the end of last season. As this year, Long Island is 10-2 against the Blue Crabs, but dating back to last year, and if you look back at the 2013 Liberty Division Championship Series, a series in which Long Island swept the Blue Crabs, the Ducks now have won 13 of the last 15 games against Southern Maryland. And then you go back even further than that, and the Ducks took 2 of the final 3 against the Blue Crabs over the regular season last year. So the Ducks really have won 15 of the last 17 games against the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, dating back to the end of the 2013 regular season. And it's not an anomaly, as the success has carried over for Long Island into this season, as they have their best record against the Blue Crabs. Well, their record against the Blue Crabs, I should say, is the best against any opponent in the Atlantic League this season. So Long Island will look to pad their statistics and get a couple of more wins here at Regency Furniture Stadium, both tonight and tomorrow, before they hit the road again for a 3-game series against the first half Freedom Division winners in the York Revolution. So we'll get set for Game 2 of this 3-game series here today. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll go over last night's ballgame as the Ducks took it over the Blue Crabs 8-4, and then go a little more in-depth with the pitching matchup for tonight's ballgame, as it will be Mitch Talbot on the mound for Long Island against Jake Brown for the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. All that still to come on the pregame show when we return on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
This is manager Kevin Baez, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
North Shore LIJ Southside Hospital in Bayshore is the healthcare heart of our community. We provide outstanding healthcare right here at home, with centers of excellence in cardiology, orthopedics, neurosciences, women's health services, and much more. Experience counts, and North Shore LIJ Southside Hospital has been around for nearly a century of care. For more information, please call 631-968-3000 or visit us on the web at www.nslij.com.
Hey Ducks fans, your recreation destination this year is The Rinks at Hidden Pond Park. The Rinks features 2 full-size ice rinks, a 97-acre summer day camp, a New York State licensed preschool academy, and a wide variety of birthday party options. Learn to skate, join one of many hockey leagues, swim in an Olympic-sized pool, and enjoy all the fun that The Rinks has to offer. Visit us today at 660 Terry Road in Hauppauge, or check us out online at therinks.com. The Rinks, your recreation destination.
Well, last night at Regency Furniture Stadium, the Ducks took the series opener over the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs by a final score of 8-4. It was a combination of strong pitching and strong hitting for the Ducks, as Sean Garceau towed the mound for Long Island against Darrell Thompson for the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. We have a little bit of a fast-forward start here as the Blue Crabs are already taking the field. So an abbreviated recap of last night's ballgame. Basically, it was Sean Garceau earning his first win since June 26th, as he went 6 innings, allowing just 1 run on 5 hits, no walks, and 5 strikeouts. Garceau, including on those 5 strikeouts, struck out the side in the bottom of the first inning on just 12 pitches. For the Ducks, they scored 8 runs on 15 hits, 5 shy of the season high, and en route to an 8-4 victory. So we'll take another break here on the pregame show. When we return, we'll have the pitching matchup, starting lineups, and first pitch between the Ducks and the Blue Crabs on Long Island, on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Hi, this is Bud Harrelson, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
North Shore LIJ Southside Hospital in Bayshore is the healthcare heart of our community. We provide outstanding healthcare right here at home with centers of excellence in cardiology, orthopedics, neurosciences, women's health services, and much more. Experience counts, and North Shore LIJ Southside Hospital has been around for nearly a century of care. For more information, please call 631-968-3000 or visit us on the web at www.nslij.com.
Life without Ducks baseball.
Emily, quit texting. James, get off the iPad. Honey, pick a channel.
Life with Ducks baseball. Beth Beach Ballpark is set. Quacker Jack is ready, and the flock is prepared to defend their title. All we need is you. For game times, promos, and tickets, visit liducks.com.
It's a blast. Now that's more like it.
Long Island Ducks baseball. Life is better here.
And welcome back to Regency Furniture Stadium here in Waldorf, Maryland, about 45 minutes south of our nation's capital. Mark Schwartz on the call on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball. Thank you so much for tuning in for this Thursday night ball game as Long Island looks to make it 2 straight over their former Liberty Division rivals. These two teams had a lot of history against each other, primarily in the postseason. But this year, the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs are now in the Freedom Division, no longer in the Liberty Division, as they and the Somerset Patriots swapped places. So, a little less in terms of the immediate postseason impact between these two sides, but there's always a possibility that they could meet up in the Atlantic League Championship Series. Nonetheless, we're getting set for first pitch here in the second game of this 3-game set, and we'll set the lineups for both teams. First for the visiting Long Island Ducks, managed today by Kevin Baez. The pitching coach is Steve Foucault, and the hitting coach is Lou Ford. An identical starting lineup for the Ducks tonight as they had yesterday at Camp Day here at Regency Furniture Stadium. Phelan Lentini leads things off in right field. Brendan Harris bats second at third base. Lou Ford is number 3 batter in center field. Bill Hall's the designated hitter batting cleanup. Adam Bailey hits 5th in left field. Cody Puckett 6th at second base. Brandon Bance will be catching for the Ducks tonight and batting 7th in the lineup. Joe Ashbrodine 8th and starting over at first base. And rounding up the order for the Ducks is Dan Lyons. He'll hit 9th and make the start over at shortstop. That entire Ducks lineup will work against Jake Brown on the hill here for the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, a late addition to the starting lineup for Southern Maryland, as he'll work from the windup. And the first pitch of tonight's ball game is a fastball on the outside corner for a called strike, 0-1. So we're officially underway. First pitch here, local time at 7:04 p.m. as the 0-1 from Brown to Lentini is fouled off over the backstop, and the count quickly moves to 0-2. Phelan hitting .311 this year with 3 home runs and 46 runs batted in. Went 2 for 5 in last night's ball game. 2 for 6, actually. The Ducks as a team had 15 hits yesterday against the Blue Crabs. As here, Lentini grounds the 0-2 over to third base. Jake Opitz in front, takes his time. His throw goes a little offline, but C.J. Ziegler makes the catch and applies the tag for out number 1. So that'll give us an opportunity to set the defense for the Blue Crabs in tonight's ball game. Starting in the outfield, moving from left to right, it's Addison Maruzak, Jermaine Mitchell, and Jamar Walton. Along the infield, Jake Opitz at third, Bobby Stevens at short, Amadeo Zezueta at second, C.J. Ziegler over at first. And behind home plate, it's James Skelton catching Jake Brown on the mound. The lefty works from the windup, and the first pitch to Brendan Harris is lined to deep left center field. Going back is Mitchell. It will one-hop the fence. Harris rounds first, heading for second, and he'll arrive standing safely with a 1-out double. So Harris jumping on the first pitch fastball from Jake Brown, and the Ducks have their first base hit and first base runner of the ballgame. Harris will lead off of second base with 1 out, as Lou Ford will step to the plate. So that'll give us an opportunity to go over Jake Brown a little bit. Again, a late addition to the lineup for the Blue Crabs tonight, as originally Brad Myers was scheduled to be the starting pitcher for today's ball game, but Brad Myers removed from his starting role about 1:30 earlier today. And with that subtraction, in came Jake Brown, who's made most of his appearances with the Blue Crabs this season as a relief pitcher. This is now his 31st appearance overall this year with Southern Maryland, As the first pitch fastball to Lou Ford's in there for a called strike, 0-1. Its 31st appearance and 6th start of the season for the Southpaw Brown. Here he works from the stretch with Harris off of second base, and the fastball to Lou Ford misses upstairs, 1-1. Overall this season, Jake Brown's 4-2 with a 3.23 earned run average, 61 in the third innings of work. He struck out 42 batters against 25 walks. Here the fastball misses high and inside to Ford, and Lou works ahead of the count now, 2-1. Brown is 6'2", 230-pound southpaw, originally from Baltimore, Maryland. This now his first season with the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. The 2-1 to Ford. Fastball once again misses high and inside, and the count quickly moves to 3 balls and 1 strike. Brown spent most of the beginning of his career in the Oakland Athletics farm system, reaching as high as AA Midland last year. Here the 3-1 to Ford misses outside, ball 4. First walk allowed by Jake Brown in tonight's ball game, and fans, that's another Municipal Credit Union walk with a purpose. Every time a Ducks batter walks, the Quackerjack Foundation wins. So runners at first and second and 1 away here in the top of the first inning. Long Island looking to get off to a hot start in tonight's ball game, just as they did in yesterday's ball game when they put up 3 runs against the Blue Crabs in the top of the first, brought 8 batters to the plate. It was Bill Hall with a 2-run double off the wall and straightaway right center field to initially get the Ducks out in front, and then Brandon Bance added an RBI base hit later in the frame. Here, runners at first and second, 1 away. The first pitch curveball to Bill Hall drops in for a called strike, 0-1. Hall's the designated hitter for the Ducks tonight, hitting .213 this season with a home run and 6 runs batted in. A right-handed batter to work against the Southpaw Brown. Hall with a very open stance from the right side of the plate. The 0-1 fastball misses inside, 1-1. Brown works from the stretch with Harris leading off of second base and Lou Ford leading off of first. The 1-1 to Bill Hall misses inside. 2 balls and 1 strike now. The Ducks wearing their alternate orange jerseys with the gray pants and a single-tone black hat with a black brim. The Blue Crabs in their more traditional white home jerseys. As here the changeup's on the outside corner for a called strike, and the count moves to 2-2. Yesterday we saw the Blue Crabs in their alternate kind of light blue sunburst jerseys, but here more traditional white jersey with white pants and a single-tone sky blue hat with a sky blue brim. The 2-2 to Hall on the inside corner for a called third strike. Hall disagrees, but Jake Brown gets his first strikeout of the ballgame, and it's a big one. 2 away now in the top of the first, and that'll bring up Adam Bailey. Our umpires for tonight's ballgame, it's Kurt Brannon behind home plate, John Distel over at first, and Chris Green at third. Hall disagreed with the call from Kurt Brannon there on that last fastball that seemingly painted the inside corner against Hall. So now Bailey will come to the plate with an opportunity to get the Ducks out in front. First pitch to Adam. Curveball drops in for a called strike on the outside corner. 0-1. Phelan Lentini grounded out to third base to begin the inning before Brendan Harris lined a double to left center field on the first pitch he saw from Jake Brown. The 0-1 here to Bailey is fouled off over the backstop, out of play. And the count now moves to no balls and 2 strikes. Adam hitting .294 this year with 12 home runs and 57 runs batted in. Had a nice day at the plate yesterday. 3 hits. Was one of 2 Ducks batters that had 3 hits in the ballgame. Both Bailey and Brandon Bance paced the Ducks' bats. The 0-2 is swung on and grounded over to first, but that ball will roll foul. Bailey's able to stay alive. The count remains at no balls and 2 strikes. Bailey, a left-handed batter to work against the lefty Jake Brown, the only lefty in the Ducks lineup tonight that'll have to work against the Southpaw Brown. Ducks have 1 switch hitter in the lineup also, Joash Brodeen, and he'll hit from the right side of the plate. Bailey's the only strictly left-handed hitting player on this Ducks team. The 0-2 is lined foul. off the facade of the suite level here at Regency Furniture Stadium and back towards the general seating bowl. So Bailey able to stay alive. The count remains no balls and 2 strikes. Top of the first inning here in Waldorf, Maryland. No score between the Ducks and the Blue Crabs. 2 out and 2 runners on. The 0-2 pitch to Bailey. Curveball misses low and outside. A nice block made by James Skelton. Keeps the ball in front of him. Holds Brendan Harris to second base. And the count quickly moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Despite Bailey being a left-handed batter, and the normal adage goes that lefties struggle mightily against left-handed pitching, compared to right-handers not really struggling too much against right-handed pitching, Bailey has been strong against southpaws this season. The 1-2 here to Adam is grounded over to short. Stevens plays the long hop, backs off, fields it cleanly, and fires it on to first in time to retire the side. The Ducks fail to score a run on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. We'll move to the bottom of the first inning. No score between the Ducks and the Blue Crabs on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Hi, this is shortstop Dan Lyons. You can follow me on Twitter at @TheDannyLyons, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Few places on Earth offer the charm and excitement of Fire Island. At Fire Island Ferries, located conveniently at 99 Maple Avenue in Bay Shore, they offer convenient travel to Fire Island 7 days a week. Fire Island is quickly becoming a top destination for families of all ages. Experience the informal, carefree communities, the dazzling night scene, enjoy fine dining, or climb to the top of one of the tallest lighthouses in the United States. But there's only one way to get there, by calling Fire Island Ferries at 631-665-3600 today. For fare and scheduling information, please visit fireislandferries.com.
Labor is on the move.
They are the Public Employees Federation.
They know it's time for workers to unite, to speak out, to demand government accountability for the way public services are delivered.
They provide healthcare services, mental health services, and services to the developmentally disabled.
They're the Public Employees Federation, PEF.
The problem-solving union. PEF is the union that cares for the community. Learn more at PEF.org. PEF. Labor on the move.
Fans, the Ducks and Municipal Credit Union have teamed up this season to present the Walk with a Purpose promotion. Every time a Long Island Ducks player walks, Municipal Credit Union will make a donation to the Quackerjack Foundation. Municipal Credit Union, serving members since 1916. Mitch Talbot steps on the mound for Long Island here in the bottom of the first inning, as he'll make his 4th start of the season, 6th overall appearance. Former big leaguer will work against Jermaine Mitchell, Bobby Stevens, and Jake Opitz here in the bottom of the first. From the windup, the first pitch from Talbot, a fastball that misses low, 1-0. We'll set the lineup for the Blue Crabs tonight, managed by Lance Burkhart, the pitching coach Joe Gannon, and the hitting coach Jeremy Owens. The 1-0. Fastball misses outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Jermaine Mitchell leads off in center field, followed by Bobby Stevens at short. Batting second, Jake Opitz hits third at third base. Luke Mertens, the designated hitter, batting cleanup as the 2-0 to Mitchell misses low, 3 balls and no strikes. C.J. Ziegler bats fifth at first base, Jamar Walton sixth. In right field, Addison Maruzak's the left fielder, batting seventh. James Skelton bats eighth behind home plate. As a fastball here misses low, ball 4. And Mitch Talbot walks Jermaine Mitchell on 4 pitches to begin his night. And that'll bring up Bobby Stevens. The number 9 batter in the order for the Blue Crabs tonight is Amadeo Zazueta, and he makes the start over at second base. So we'll set the defense for the Ducks here in the bottom of the first. It's Adam Bailey in left field, Lou Ford in center, and Phelan Lentini in right. Along the infield, Brendan Harris at third base, Dan Lyons at short, Cody Puckett's the second baseman, Joe Ash Brodeen at first, Brandon Bance behind home plate. That's Mitch Talbot on the mound, as he'll throw over to first base, and he had Jermaine Mitchell leaning the wrong way. Mitchell's able to dive back safely. So Talbot will work from the stretch for the first time tonight against the right-handed hitting Bobby Stevens. Mitchell takes off. The fastball misses outside. Bance's throw down to second base deflects off of Mitchell's knee and rolls into shallow center field. Jermaine Mitchell will advance over to third base. It'll be a stolen base for Mitchell and an E2 advancing him over to third. And the Blue Crabs, 5 pitches into tonight's ball game, have a runner leading off of third base, 90 feet away from home. 5 consecutive balls thrown by Mitch Talbot to begin his night. It's a 1-0 count to Bobby Stevens, right-handed hitting batter, hitting .237 this year with 3 home runs and 25 RBI. So after it was the Ducks that got off to a hot start in yesterday's ball game, the Blue Crabs looking to return the favor here tonight. Infield will play back with nobody out in the bottom of the first inning, and the fastball to Stevens let her high for a called strike 0-1. Sorry, 1-1. Corner infielders will play close to the infield grass. The middle infielders play it back, and the outfield straight up, with the Blue Crabs threatening here in the bottom of the first inning. Talbot from the stretch, the 1-1 is grounded foul down the third base line. And now the count will move to 1-2. A light crowd on hand here in Southern Maryland for tonight's ball game. Of course, it's the start for many teams of the NFL preseason, so I'd imagine that there's a lot of Washington Redskin fans that are down here in Waldorf, Maryland. I believe the Redskins get underway tonight. As the 1-2 from Talbot, fisted right back to the pitcher. Talbot fields. Mitchell's caught in between third and home, and now he's in a rundown. Harris over to Bance, who applies the tag. Now Bance will throw down to second. The tag by Puckett is in time. That will be ruled a 1-5-2-4 double play. Oh, base running blunders galore for the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs here in the bottom of the first inning. And now there's quickly 2 out and nobody on base. Stevens grounded it back to the pitcher Talbot. That was the 1. And then Talbot threw it over to third base because Mitchell took a large secondary lead. So it went 1-5, and then Harris went down to Bance, who applied the tag on Mitchell. 1-5-2, and then Bance's throw down to second base as Stevens looked to take second. As here the fastball misses outside, and the count moves to 1-0 to Jake Opitz. Puckett applied the tag on Bobby Stevens. So what it will officially be ruled is a fielder's choice for Stevens, putting him at first. As here the fastball on the outside corner for a strike 1-1. It's a fielder's choice 1-5-2, but then the throw from Bance over to second base retires Bobby Stevens, as this one's grounded foul down the first base line 1-2. So it's a double play, but a very unconventional 1-5-2-4 double play. Nonetheless, it has Talbot in a better position here in the bottom of the first inning. 2 out and nobody on, and a 1-2 count to the right to the left-handed hitting Jake Opitz. Starting third baseman for the Blue Crabs tonight, has been a middle-of-the-order player all season long for the Crabs. Talbot shakes off Brandon Bance, and Opitz will step out of the box momentarily. Steps back in here as Talbot works from the windup, the 1-2. Fastball misses inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Opitz hitting .276 this year with 13 home runs and 52 runs batted in. Infield plays back with 2 away. Talbot stares in, works from the windup, the 2-2 pitch. Fastball lined over to short. Dan Lyons can't field it cleanly. It goes over his glove and into shallow center field. Ducks already with an error earlier this inning, and that could be their second error. As was a play Lyons should have made, but instead of getting his body in front of it, he let it bounce to his left, and it'll be scored a single. So a base hit given to Jake Opitz here in the bottom of the first inning. That continues the inning and will bring up Luke Merton. Well, it was hit somewhat sharply by Opitz, but Lyons had time. He probably should have gotten in front of it. Instead, he played it to his side, and the ball bounced over his glove into center field. So the first pitch now to Luke Merton's a fastball in there for a called strike 0-1. Opitz will lead off of first base with solid speed. Merton's hitting .262 this year with 7 home runs and 30 runs batted in. Made his debut with the Blue Crabs back against Long Island, actually, in early June. Last time the Ducks were here. So the 0-1 is grounded softly over to third. Harris bobbles the ball, collects. Merton doesn't run fast as Brendan's able to make the throw over to first to retire the side. So some shoddy defense from the Ducks in the bottom of the first and some shoddy base running from the Blue Crabs. All in all, no run score on 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 runner left on base. No score as we move to the top of the second inning on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Hey
fans, this is pitcher Bobby Blevins, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
It's your money, and you have the power to save it. Make a few simple changes, and you can use less electricity and save real money. By installing Energy Star light bulbs and products for your home, you can save hundreds of dollars each year. At PSEG Long Island, we're working hard to serve you in the way you deserve. Check out our energy-saving tips and tools at psegLINY.com/savemoney.
James Simmons is going back. He is looking up, and on Bark in the Park Night, that one is gone and reaches a kennel in Central Islip. That was another home run for the Ducks. And Duck fans, what's more fun than a home run that helps the Ducks win a game? How about a homer that helps the community win? Chappie's Funeral Home and the Long Island Ducks have once again teamed up for the Chappie's Home Run Challenge. If the Ducks hit 100 homers this season, Chappie's Funeral Home will donate $5,000 to the Quacker Jack Foundation. So every time a Ducks hitter goes deep this season, watch for the Chappie's Challenge home run count on the scoreboard. And if we reach 100, we're all a winner. Chappie's Funeral Home, where caring for others is a family tradition.
Top of the second inning here at Regency Furniture Stadium in Waldorf, Maryland. Mark Schwartz on the call on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball. Also live audio streaming at liducks.com. Cody Puckett will step in for Long Island as we begin the top of the second. It will be Puckett, Brandon Bance, and Joash Brodeen due up against Jake Brown, who was able to navigate his way through the top of the first inning without allowing a run. First pitch here to Cody Puckett's a fastball that misses inside 1-0. Brown allowed a one-out double to Brendan Harris and then walked Lou Ford to put 2 runners on. The 1-0 here to Puckett misses outside, 2 balls and no strikes. And then Brown was able to strike out Bill Hall and force Adam Bailey to ground out to short to retire the side and keep this game scoreless. The 2-0. Change up outside corner for a called strike. 2-1. Puckett hitting .276 this year with 7 home runs and 53 runs batted in. The 2-1 from the southpaw Brown is fouled off to the backstop, and the count runs even to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Reason I mentioned earlier in the bottom of the first inning why some fans here at Regency Furniture Stadium might be Redskin fans is because there's a special appearance here at the ballpark tonight to help draw some attendance as the 2-2 to Puckett is fouled off. Fred Smoot's here. Smoot, the former cornerback of the Washington Redskins. I believe he played with some other teams. Forget who else. I think maybe the Raiders. Nonetheless, Smoot was primarily known, maybe the Falcons also, but Smoot was primarily known for his time with the Washington Redskins as Puckett lines a curveball over the head of the shortstop Bobby Stevens and into left center field for a base hit. Second hit of the ball game already for Long Island, and the Ducks have a leadoff base runner on here in the top of the second inning as Brandon Bance will step in. But Fred Smoot's here making an appearance at Regency Furniture Stadium, signing autographs, taking pictures with some fellow Redskin fans. Haven't seen any Redskin jerseys from any of the fans here yet, but there could be some Redskin fans in attendance. Nonetheless, Puckett will lead off at first base here, held on by C.J. Ziegler. Jake Brown will work from the stretch now, and his first pitch to the right-handed hitting Brandon Bance is a fastball that misses upstairs 1-0. Bance hitting .297 this year with 2 home runs and 12 runs batted in. The 1-0. Fastball outside corner for a called strike, 1-1. Bance had a very strong day at the plate yesterday for the Ducks. It was his second 3-hit game of the season. Here the 1-1 of Bance is fouled off over the backstop, out of play. 1-2. Overall, Bance went 3 for 4 with a double, 1 run scored, 2 runs batted in, a walk, and a stolen base. It was a complete performance for Bance in yesterday's ball game and helped to lead the Ducks in an eventual 8-4 victory. Long Island putting up 15 hits against the Blue Crabs, the majority of those coming against starting pitcher Darryl Thompson. As Bance is fisted here, pops it up. Foul territory, third base side. James Skelton tosses off the mask and makes the catch for the first out. So 1 away, and that'll bring up Joash Brodin, a switch hitter for Long Island. He'll bat from the right side here to work against Jake Brown. Brodin overall this season's hitting .244 with 5 home runs and 46 runs batted in. Hit a couple of home runs earlier today during batting practice from the right side. So he's looking to carry that momentum from a solid BP session onto the field here against Jake Brown. First pitch from Brown, a fastball, misses outside 1-0. Brodin does prefer to hit from the left side of the plate as opposed to from the right. As Brown works from the stretch and the 1-0 misses upstairs, 2 balls and no strikes. While batting right-handed this season, Joash Brodin is hitting .211. That compares to a .258 batting average when he bats left-handed. So this has been his weaker side this year, as the 2-0 to Brodin is swung through. Nice changeup there from Brown, gets Brodin out in front, and the count moves to 2-1. Cody Puckett leads off of first base after he led off the inning with a single. No runs on 2 hits, 1 error for the Ducks, as Brown will throw over to first. And Puckett back standing safely. No runs on 1 hit and no errors for the Blue Crabs. Brown from the stretch, the 2-1 to Brodin, misses high and outside. And Joash has worked ahead in the count now at 3 balls and 1 strike. Well, in addition to the Washington Redskins getting underway with their NFL preseason game today, the New York Jets are getting underway with the preseason as well, as Brodin fists one foul down the first base line out of play, and the count moves to 3-2. The Jets hosting the Indianapolis Colts over at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey tonight, and the Colts took a 3-0 lead on their first possession. Of course, it's just preseason, so the score doesn't really matter. People just looking for solid production out of the players as Brodin breaks his bat, flying the ball foul down the third base line. It lands out of play, but Brodin will walk back towards the Ducks dugout located down the first base line and grab a new piece of lumber. Could audibly hear that bat breaking on the swing. So it's a full count, 1 away here at the top of the second inning. Cody Puckett leads off of first. He took off on that pitch from Jake Brown. So we'll see once Brodin gets a new bat and steps back into the batter's box if Puckett decides to keep that similar strategy and take off once again on a 3-2 pitch. No score between the Ducks and the Blue Crabs. Brodin has a new bat, and he steps back into the batter's box, and Brown will throw over to first base. Puckett back standing. Not a very strong move there from Jake Brown, but it didn't look like he was throwing over with the intention of trying to pick off Puckett. Just trying to keep him honest. Once again, Brown will throw over. And once again, Puckett back safely. When Brown's been thrown over to first base, he hasn't been throwing the ball with too much velocity. Here, Puckett takes off as Brodin fouls the fastball off to the backstop, and Cody will once again have to retreat to first base. Full count here to Joash Brodin with 1 away in the top of the second inning. Dan Lyons awaits on deck. Middle infield plays a double play depth for the Blue Crabs. The 3-2 pitch fouled off right over the broadcast booth and back down to the general seating bowl. That ball was about maybe 5 feet lower, then I would have had an opportunity to make a play on that one. But alas, Brodin steps back in. Brown from the stretch, the 3-2, misses low, ball 4. Second walk drawn by the Ducks tonight, and fans, that's another Municipal Credit Union walk with a purpose. Every time a Ducks batter walks, the Quackerjack Foundation wins. So Joash Brodin wins that battle against Jake Brown. And for the second time tonight, the Ducks will have 2 runners on and 1 away. And now the batter will be Dan Lyons. Lyons rounds up the order for the Ducks tonight, hitting .278 this season with 3 home runs and 27 runs batted in. Was 1 for 5 from the plate yesterday, as every Ducks player in the lineup reached base at least once. Lyons was the last one to do so. His single came in the top of the 9th inning, as the fastball here misses upstairs, 1-0. Cody Puckett leads off of second base. Joash Brodin off of first. Lions try to give the Ducks the lead, the 1-0. Line deep down the left field line, but that'll slice out of play and land foul. Now the count runs even, a 1-1 strike. Lions' 3 home runs this season are the most that he's had with the Ducks in the last 3 years. He had been on a stretch in which he hadn't homered in 2.5 seasons with Long Island, as the 1-1 here to Lions is swung on and missed, 1-2. But Dan broke that streak when he went deep against the York Revolution at the end of June. That was his first home run of the season. Since that point, has gone deep 2 more times, including one over at Bethpage Ballpark. As here he lifts one down the right field line. Over is Jamar Walton, but it will land out of play. And the count stays at 1-2 strikes. Lions had 3 home runs in 2012 with Long Island. That was his high with the team. Most he's had in a single season was 5, and that came back in 2008 with the Hagerstown Suns, the single-A affiliate of the Washington Nationals. Here's the 1-2 to Dan. A fastball misses outside, and the count runs even now to 2-2 strikes. But since he had gone deep in 2012 for his 3rd home run that season, which came in July, actually here at Regency Furniture Stadium against the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. The 2-2 here to Lions is fouled off down the right field line. From that point, Lions had gone roughly about 2 years until his next home run, which came this season. And since that point, Dan has 3 now on the year. 1 at York, 1 over at the ballpark at Harbor Yard in Bridgeport, and 1 at Bethpage Ballpark in Central Islip. Here's the 2-2 to Lions, and he fists it foul over the backstop. And the count stays even at 2-2 strikes. So if nothing else, the Ducks are forcing Jake Brown to throw a good amount of pitches, as Brown now north of 45 pitches, and he's recorded just 1 out here in the top of the 2nd inning. So it very well could be a bullpen day for the Blue Crabs as Lions grounds one over to short here. Stevens fields it cleanly onto second for 1. The turn to first not nearly in time. It'll be a fielder's choice for Dan Lions. Score at 6-4 if you're keeping track at home. Brodin retired along the base paths. Cody Puckett advances to 3rd. Now the Ducks will have runners on the corners with 2 out as the lineup turns back over to the top and Phelan Lentini. It'll be Lentini's 2nd at bat of the ball game. He grounded out over to 3rd to lead things off. And had 2 hits in last night's ball game. Has an opportunity here to give the Ducks the lead. Puckett leads off of 3rd, Lions off of 1st. Brown from the stretch. First pitch to Lentini is lined to center field. Back goes Jermaine Mitchell. He'll have space to make the catch and retire the side. So once again, Jake Brown's able to wiggle his way out of danger. No runs for the Ducks on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. We'll move to the bottom of the 2nd inning. No score between the Ducks and the Blue Crabs on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Hey fans, this is outfielder and hitting coach Lou Ford, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Hey Ducks fans, your recreation destination this year is The Rinks at Hidden Pond Park. The Rinks features 2 full-size ice rinks, a 97-acre summer day camp, a New York State licensed preschool academy, and a wide variety of birthday party options. Learn to skate, join one of many hockey leagues, swim in an Olympic-sized pool, and enjoy all the fun that The Rinks has to offer. Visit us today at 660 Terry Road in Hauppauge, or check us out online at therinks.com. The Rinks, your recreation destination.
Can't get enough of the Long Island Ducks? Well, now you can get even more inside info on your favorite hometown team through Facebook and Twitter. The Ducks are constantly updating fans through social media with scores, transactions, ballpark promotions, and much more. You can even win great prizes. All you'll need to do is make a free account on Facebook and Twitter, and then visit us at facebook.com/LIDucks and twitter.com/LIDucks. Think you're Long Island's biggest Ducks fan? Get connected now.
Bottom of the 2nd inning here at Regency Furniture Stadium. Mark Schwartz on the call. Thank you so much for joining us here on this warm Thursday evening in Southern Maryland. Fans, every double play that the Ducks turn this season is presented by the New York State Public Employees Federation, PEF, the problem-solving union providing health care services, mental health services, and services to the developmentally disabled. New York State Public Employees Federation, the union that cares for the community. So here in the bottom of the second inning, it'll be the 5, 6, 7 batters due up for the Blue Crabs. C.J. Ziegler will lead things off. First pitch from Mitch Talbot's a fastball that misses well outside, 1-0. Ziegler had a fine day at the plate yesterday. Led the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs in that department as the 1-0 here. He's in there for a called strike, 1-1. Yesterday, Ziegler went 3 for 3 from the plate, was on base 4 times, including a solo home run in the bottom of the second and 2 doubles on the afternoon as well, as he takes a fastball here on the outside corner and Talbot works ahead in the count, 1-2. Overall this season, Ziegler's hitting .291 with 10 home runs and 55 runs batted in. The 1-2 from Talbot, fastball misses outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 55 ribeye stakes for Ziegler leads the Blue Crabs, while his 10 home runs are second behind Jake Opitz, and his .291 batting average is second behind Jermaine Mitchell. Middle of the order batter all season long for the Blue Crabs. Right-handed batter with a slightly open stance. Talbot from the windup, the 2-2 is swung on and missed, strike 3. Talbot's first strikeout of the ballgame, and Ziegler's retired for the first time in this series. 1 out, nobody on, bottom of the second, no score, and Jamar Walton will step to the plate. Well, all 4 games in the Atlantic League currently underway. No camp days today, no 8 o'clock start, so everyone's currently playing. Here we have no score at Regency Furniture Stadium between the Ducks and the Blue Crabs. As the first pitch here to Jamar Walton is grounded up the middle, deflects off of Talbot's glove. Puckett fields the throw to first, in time! It didn't look like Puckett would have had too much time to make that throw over to first, but the first base umpire, John Distel, saying that ball beat Walton by a very small margin, but it did beat him. 2 away now, nobody on in the bottom of the second, and that'll bring up Addison Maruzak. So it goes down as a 1-4-3 putout, as the ground ball had originally deflected off of Talbot's glove and then went over to Puckett at second base, who charged in and quickly was able to shuffle it on to Joe Ash Brodeen at first. So 2 out, nobody on, and Addison Maruzak will take the first pitch fastball for a called strike, 0-1. Maruzak hitting .152 with 2 home runs and 7 runs batted in. Talbot from the windup, the 0-1. Fastball right down Broadway for a called strike, and the count moves to 0-2. Maruzak was a late addition to the lineup last night for the Blue Crabs. The 0-2 here from Talbot misses low, 1-2. He went 0 for 4 from the plate. Originally, it was Angel Chavez that was penciled in the lineup, but Maruzak came in at the last second. The 1-2 pitch from Talbot. Fastball grounded foul down the third base line. That ball ran inside, and Maruzak did a nice job of just fighting it off, and the count stays at 1-2. So all 4 games again underway here in the Atlantic League. Already in the bottom of the 5th inning over at York, Pennsylvania. The Revolution and the Skeeters are tied at 1. No score between the River Sharks and the Patriots, and in the top of the 2nd inning of that ball game. So 1-2 here to Maruzak. Curveball just misses upstairs, and the count runs even. That one didn't miss by much. As in between pitches, Talbot working his arm as if he's mimicking throwing a curveball to try to get the right delivery. Here the 2-2 curve drops in for a called third strike. So Mitch Talbot gets himself a 1-2-3 inning, 2 strikeouts in the inning, and we remain scoreless as we move to the top of the 3rd on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Hey fans, this is outfielder and hitting coach Lou Ford, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Hey Ducks fans, your recreation destination this year is The Rinks at Hidden Pond Park. The Rinks features 2 full-size ice rinks, a 97-acre summer day camp, a New York State licensed preschool academy, and a wide variety of birthday party options. Learn to skate, join one of many hockey leagues, swim in an Olympic-sized pool, and enjoy all the fun that The Rinks has to offer. Visit us today at 660 Terry Road in Hauppauge, or check us out online at therinks.com. The Rinks, your recreation destination.
Can't get enough of the Long Island Ducks? Well, now you can get even more inside info on your favorite hometown team through Facebook and Twitter. The Ducks are constantly updating fans through social media with scores, transactions, ballpark promotions, and much more. You can even win great prizes. All you'll need to do is make a free account on Facebook and Twitter, and then visit us at facebook.com/LIDucks and twitter.com/LIDucks. Think you're Long Island's biggest Ducks fan? Get connected now.
Top of the third inning here at Regency Furniture Stadium. Mark Schwartz on the call on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball. Also live audio streaming at liducks.com. No runs on 2 hits, 1 error for the Ducks. No runs on 1 hit, and no errors for the Blue Crabs, as Brendan Harris will lead things off for Long Island in the top of the third. It'll be Harris, Lou Ford, and Bill Hall due up as they all work against the southpaw Jake Brown in his third inning of work. Mitch Talbot has needed 27 pitches to get through the first 2 innings against the Blue Crabs, and Jake Brown's pitch count has continued to rise. A lot of long at-bats worked by Long Island already in tonight's ballgame. But Brown has had a bend but not break approach so far, as the Ducks have stranded a pair of base runners in each of the first 2 innings. So here Harris will lead off, and he'll take the first pitch changeup at the knees for a called strike 0-1. Harris lined a double to the left center field gap on the first pitch he saw from Brown back in the first inning. Here he lifts one to shallow left. In comes Maruzak. He camps under it, has time, and he makes the catch for out number 1. So Harris is retired for the first time tonight, and that'll bring up Lou Ford, who walked back in the first inning. Ford entering tonight's ballgame with a .333 batting average, 12 home runs, and 66 runs batted in. Hitting coach and the starting center fielder for Long Island has seen his batting average dip ever since really the beginning of June. It's back on, in the Somerset Patriots series for the Ducks, against Somerset over at TD Bank Ballpark in Bridgewater, New Jersey. That came in the end of May, middle stages of June, I should say, as the first pitch fastball here to Ford is in there for a strike 0-1. It was during that Somerset series that Ford's batting average had reached its apex so far this year, as the fastball misses inside 1-1. Go back to June 15th, after the Ducks had a doubleheader against the Patriots on the 14th. Here the 1-1 misses inside, 2-1. Ford's batting average on that day was all the way up at .398, and at the time he led the league in home runs, runs batted in, and batting average. As here he swings through the fastball and loses control of the bat as it flies towards the backstop. And the count runs to 2 balls and 2 strikes. And maybe not enough pine tar on the handle for Ford, but he'll be handed the bat back from one of the bat boys for the Blue Crabs, and now he'll decide to put the pine tar on. He wasn't going to do it, and then it looked like Bill Hall grabbed some pine tar and threw it over to Lou Ford in the batter's box. So a little more traction on the handle for Lou as he steps back into the batter's box. Brown works from the windup in the 2-2 pitch. Fastball misses inside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Ford's still among the league leaders in a bevy of offensive categories. Here's the payoff pitch, and it's lined foul down the right field line. Out of play, and the count remains full. Ford's .333 batting average is second highest in the league, behind Justin Green of the York Revolution, who has a .369 batting average. The 3-2 here to Lou. Fastball in there for a called third strike. Brown paints the black on the inside corner. It's his second strikeout of the ballgame. 2 out, nobody on here in the top of the third, and that'll bring up the designated hitter, Bill Hall. Hall struck out on a very similar pitch in his first at-bat back in the top of the first inning. Brown went inside corner with a fastball. Hall disagreed from the call with the home plate umpire, Kurt Brandon. But both of Jake Brown's strikeouts tonight have been of the looking variety on fastballs on the inside part of the plate to right-handed batters. Here the curveball drops in for a first pitch strike to Hall, and it counts 0-1. Hall had the 2-run double in the top of the first inning of yesterday's ball game to put the Ducks in front, as the fastball misses outside here, 1-1. And Long Island never looked back. The closest the Blue Crabs came in yesterday's ball game was after C.J. Ziegler hit a solo home run in the bottom of the second inning to make it 3-1. So 1-1 here to Hall, misses inside, 2 balls and 1 strike. The Ducks would eventually open up an 8-1 lead over the Blue Crabs, thanks to 2 more runs in the 5th on an RBI double from Brandon Bance and an RBI single from Joe Ashbrodeen. As the 2-1 here, check swing, changeup, went around, said the home plate umpire, Kurt Brandon. And the count runs even at 2-2. Cody Puckett then added a solo home run in the 7th inning in yesterday's ball game. And then a run-scoring pass ball and an RBI single from Adam Bailey made it an 8-1 lead, their largest of the game, as here Hall takes the fastball upstairs and the count runs to 3 balls and 2 strikes. But the Blue Crabs did respond. They put up 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning on an RBI single from Jake Opitz and consecutive bases-loaded walks to C.J. Ziegler and Jamar Walton. But Brett Lorne was able to strand the bases loaded with the tying run at the plate in the bottom of the 8th, and David Kopp worked 1-2-3 bottom of the 9th to secure the victory, as Hall grounds one foul here, and the count stays full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Talking with Kevin Byers before today's ball game, he said that yesterday was a game that he really wanted to get that victory, so he was willing to pull out all the stops in terms of his relief pitching, trying to make sure that he could secure the win. Here the 3-2 to Hall is swung on and missed, strike 3. Off-speed pitch there from Brown got Hall out in front. 3rd strikeout of the ball game for Brown, 2nd time that Hall struck out. And the Ducks go down 1-2-3 here in the top of the 3rd inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on. We'll move to the bottom of the 3rd, no score, on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Hi, this is Joe Ashbrodeen, first baseman, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
North Shore LIJ Southside Hospital in Bayshore is the healthcare heart of our community. We provide outstanding healthcare right here at home with centers of excellence in cardiology, orthopedics, neurosciences, women's health services, and much more. Experience counts, and North Shore LIJ Southside Hospital has been around for nearly a century of care. For more information, please call 631-968-3000 or visit us on the web at www.nslij.com.
Life without Ducks Baseball.
Emily, quit texting. James, get off the iPad. Honey, pick a channel.
Life with Ducks Baseball.
Beth Beach Ballpark is set. Quackerjack is ready, and the flock is prepared to defend their title. All we need is you. For game times, promos, and tickets, visit liducks.com.
It's a blast. Now that's more like it.
Long Island Ducks Baseball. Life is better here.
And welcome back to Regency Furniture Stadium. Mark Schwartz here. Fans, the final out of the top of the 3rd inning was the 15th out of tonight's ball game. Did you know that a 15-minute call to Geico could save you 15% or more on your car insurance? Get a free quote today. Call 1-800-947-AUTO. That's 1-800-947-AUTO, or visit geico.com. Bottom of the 3rd inning, Mitch Talbot back to the mound for his 3rd inning of work. Has kept the Blue Crabs off the scoreboard to this point, as the first pitch to James Skelton's in there for a called strike, 0-1. Jake Brown has now thrown 64 pitches for the Blue Crabs through the first 3 innings of this ballgame, so we'll see how far his leash is. As the fastball to Skelton's on the inside corner for a strike, and Talbot's quickly ahead, 0-2. Talbot from the windup here, the 0-2 pitch. Fastball fouled off by Skelton. Down the 3rd base line, out of play. And the count moves to 1-2. A light crowd here at Regency Furniture Stadium for tonight's ball game between the Ducks and the Blue Crabs. Talbot from the windup. The 0-2. Fastball swung on and missed, strike 3. Third strikeout of the ball game for Mitch Talbot. Makes quick work of James Skelton. One away here in the last of the third, and that'll bring up Amadeo Zezueta. Zezueta rounds up the order for the Blue Crabs tonight. He's hitting .257 this year with 3 home runs and 25 runs batted in. Right-handed batter to work against Talbot. One of the few players on this Southern Maryland Blue Crabs team that wears his pants high so you can see his socks. Here he takes a fastball on the outside corner for a strike. 0-1. Talbot working quickly from the mound now. Seems to have found his rhythm as the 0-1 misses inside. 1-1. Again, this is Talbot's 6th appearance of the season for the Ducks and his 4th start. The reins have fully been taken off. He has no limits on the mound now. The 1-1. Fastball lined over Brendan Harris and into left field for a base hit. Second hit of the ball game for the Blue Crabs. They'll have a 1-out base runner here as the lineup turns back over to the top and Jermaine Mitchell. First hit since Jake Opit's 2-out base hit in the first inning. Breaks off a streak of 5 consecutive retired by Talbot. So now it's Jermaine Mitchell at the plate. He walked his first time up on 4 pitches before stealing second base, advancing to third on a throwing error from Brandon Bantz. There's solid base running there from Mitchell, but then he wound up running the Blue Crabs out of an inning with poor base running when Bobby Stevens came to the plate. As the first pitch here to Mitchell is a curveball that drops in for a called strike 0-1. Back in that bottom of the first inning, the Blue Crabs had a runner at third with nobody out. Bobby Stevens grounded it back to Talbot, who fielded it cleanly, and Mitchell took a very large secondary lead off of third base, was caught in between third and home. Talbot recognized that and threw on to Brendan Harris at third, and then at that point Mitchell was in a rundown. Harris went over to Brandon Bantz, who applied the tag, and then threw it on to second to get Bobby Stevens trying to take second base. Here Talbot works from the stretch, the 0-1. Fastball misses inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. So it was that base running blunder that turned what seemed to be a pretty promising beginning to the inning for the Blue Crabs into an eventual goose egg on the scoreboard. From the stretch, the 1-1. Fastball just misses off the plate. A little outside. 2 balls and 1 strike now to the left-handed hitting Mitchell, who's hitting now .295 on the season. That's the highest batting average on Southern Maryland. And it's been quite the turnaround for Mitchell at the plate. Started off the season poorly as here he grounds one over Joash Brodeen. It deflects off the top of his glove and rolls into right field. Cody Puckett collects. It'll be a base hit for Jermaine Mitchell. And on to second base goes Amadeo Zezueta. Jermaine Mitchell's been on base 2 times already tonight. And the Blue Crabs with runners at first and second and 1 away for Bobby Stevens. But that continues the hot hitting for Jermaine Mitchell, who has increased his batting average nearly 100 points since June 8th. He was hitting .196 on June 8th. And entering tonight's ball game, August 7th, he's hitting .295 on the season. So it's been a nice turnaround for Mitchell, but here's Bobby Stevens to try to get the Blue Crabs out in front. Talbot will work from the stretch. First pitch to Stevens, a curveball breaks in for a called strike, 0-1. Zezueta will lead off of second, Mitchell off of first, so solid speed along the base paths for the Blue Crabs as the Ducks look for a ground ball. Middle infield plays at double play depth. The 0-1 from Talbot. Fastball misses outside, 1-1. Some movement in the Blue Crabs bullpen, so Jake Brown's day could potentially be done after 3 innings. Again, Brown used normally as a relief pitcher this season for the Blue Crabs, making his 6th start tonight. But he has never worked at least 5 innings in a Blue Crabs uniform, as Stevens grounds one foul here down the third base line, 1-2. He had worked over 4 innings in 4 appearances this year. but never worked 5 for Southern Maryland. So you knew going into this ball game, after Brad Myers was scratched, that it would likely be a bullpen day for the Blue Crabs. And it looks like Brown might be done after 3 innings of work, where he tosses 64 pitches. Talbot here trying to keep this game scoreless. The 1-2 to Stevens is grounded down the third base line, just foul. And retreating to second base now will be Amadeo Zazueta. And back to first will go Jermaine Mitchell. Clearly a foul ball. It wasn't foul by much, but if it was fair, Brendan Harris would have been in position to make the play. Instead, it stays at a 1-2 count for Bobby Stevens, who has 25 runs batted in this season. Infield will continue to play at double play depth for Long Island, trying to keep this game scoreless. 1 away, bottom of the 3rd inning. The 1-2, fastball just misses outside, and as that pitch was being delivered, a ball from the bullpen down the left field line made its way onto the field. You heard a lot of screams of ball, but the pitch still counted as time was not called before Talbot delivered home. So it's a 2-2 count now to Bobby Stevens, a right-handed batter, working against the righty Talbot. From the stretch, the 2-2 pitch. Fastball lined foul. And Stevens able to stay alive. So Talbot here is trying to improve on his best start of the season for Long Island, which came his last time out against the Camden River Sharks. Back in the final game of that long 10-game road trip for the Ducks. It was their longest road trip of the season. Talbot went 6 innings in that August 1st start, allowing just 1 run on 4 hits, with the season-high 7 strikeouts. As now Kurt Brandon will call time, the home plate umpire. Talbot slowly but surely has had his reins loosened, and now he's all systems go on the rubber for the Ducks. The 2-2 here. Swung on and chopped foul. Stevens able to stay alive. Talbot actually wound up earning a win in his first appearance with the Ducks. That came back on July 5th. Tossed 1 inning of relief for Long Island, which he allowed a run, but Ducks eventually won that game 6-1. So Talbot earned the win there. He's 2-1 overall this year with a 4.50 earned run average. 15 strikeouts against 5 walks in 18 innings of work entering tonight's ballgame. Made 2 relief appearances before he was put into the Ducks starting rotation. Here's the 2-2 from Talbot, and it's grounded over to second, could be 2. Puckett over the lines for 1, the turn to first, not in time. Stevens able to beat out the turn from Dan Lyons, and that'll continue the inning for the Blue Crabs. Instead of an inning-ending double play, it's a fielder's choice for Stevens, 4-6. Mitchell's retired from the base paths. On to third base goes Amadeo Zazueta. Stevens will be at first, and the Blue Crabs have runners on the corners with 2 away here in the bottom of the 3rd. No score, but they're threatening, and the left-handed hitting Jake Opitz will step in. So a big play there for Southern Maryland. A nice job hustling down the first base line from Stevens. Able to beat out the toss from Lyons despite a nice stretch over at first base from Joash Brodin. And another ball makes its way onto the field here from the bullpen in left field. That's now 3 times during this inning in which whichever pitcher is getting loose for the Blue Crabs in left field has thrown the ball away from the catcher, and it's paused play. And now it looks like they're just done throwing, so no more pauses for now as Talbot will work from the stretch, and the first pitch to Opitz, a fastball that misses low, 1-0. Well, normally when the bullpens are located down the foul lines, teams will use a couple of players to guard the people that are warming up, and the players will act both as a guard in case a foul ball is hit that way, and also in case a pitch gets away from the bullpen. As the 1-0 to Opitz is lined to center field off the end of the bat, so Lou Ford will come in and make the catch to retire the side. Mitch Talbot's able to work himself out of danger in the bottom of the 3rd inning. So no runs for the Blue Crabs on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. Through 3 innings, we remain scoreless as we move to the top of the fourth on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Hey fans, this is pitcher Sean Garceau, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Beautify your patio, walkway, driveway, or pool surround with Nicoloc paving stones and walls. Nicoloc's specially formulated paver shield offers extra surface wear protection and color enhancement throughout the thickness of the paver. Paver shield guarantees that your pavers will look great for years to come. Bring home the elegance with Nicoloc. Visit the Nicoloc Design Center, Sunrise Highway, Lindenhurst, or Nicoloc.com.
Let Nicoloc Pavers, Nicoloc Pavers, pave your way.
Hey, Duck fans, you want all the latest inside info on your back-to-back Atlantic League champion Long Island Ducks? Then follow Ducks president and general manager Michael Pfaff on Twitter at twitter.com/LIDucksGM. You'll find out first right here about player transactions, special stories, and so much more. You'll also be able to interact with Michael directly and get his take on all things Ducks baseball. Head to twitter.com/LIDucksGM today and make sure to follow along throughout the entire 15th anniversary season. Ducks baseball. Life is better here.
Jake Brown comes back into the ballgame for the Blue Crabs as we move to the top of the fourth inning. So Brown's day not yet done, though there has been a pitcher that's been getting loose for Southern Maryland. So we'll see how long the leash is for Brown. He's thrown 64 pitches for the Blue Crabs through his first 3 innings of work. And he'll work against the left-handed hitting Adam Bailey here to lead things off. In the top of the fourth inning. So there's a chance that Brown will just face this left-handed hitting Bailey before being taken out of the ballgame. First pitch here to Adam Bailey is a fastball in the inside corner for a strike, 0-1. You have a righty getting loose in the bullpen, so we'll see if after this Bailey at bat, Lance Burkhart makes the move to his bullpen. As the fastball here is at the knees for a called strike, 0-2. Bailey grounded out to shortstop his first time up. He's 0-for-1 today. The 0-2 pitch to Bailey. Curveball just misses outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. And Adam had another strong day at the plate yesterday with 3 hits and a run scored. The 1-2 from Brown is ripped down the right field line, and that's going to stay fair for an extra base hit. And it looks like that might have hit off of something down that right field line, so it'll be ruled a ground rule double for Adam Bailey. Second double of the ball game for the Ducks. Well, it's difficult to see exactly what's going on down the right field line here at Regency Furniture Stadium, as the way the stands are configured, it wraps around, so fans sitting down the right field line have a better vantage point towards home plate with the seats facing the infield. What it does is it cuts off our sight line down the right field line. So it stayed fair for a double for a Bailey, and it must have hopped over the wall or hit something over the wall. Make it a ground rule double. So now Cody Puckett will step to the plate with the Ducks having their leadoff runner in scoring position. First pitch fastball to Puckett misses outside, 1-0. So despite Bailey leading off the inning with a double, and now Puckett being a right-handed batter, Lance Burkhart's going to keep Jake Brown in the ballgame, so it's a lefty on righty matchup here, favoring Long Island, as the changeup's on the outside corner for a strike, 1-1. Puckett singled to left field his first time up, 1-for-1 tonight. Has an opportunity to give the Ducks the lead with a base hit. Bailey leads off of second. The 1-1 is fisted over the backstop and out of play. The count moves to 1-2. Well, the double for Adam Bailey is his 18th double of the season. That's third most on the team, behind Lou Ford and Phelan Lentini, who are among 2 of the league leaders in doubles. The 1-2 here to Puckett is grounded just foul down the third base line, and fortunately for Puckett, as he didn't run out of the batter's box initially. It was right down the line, and the third baseman, Jake Opitz, decided to field it behind the third base bag. That gave the ball an opportunity to slice foul. So Puckett stays alive in the count. It remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes. No score top of the 4th inning. Bailey leads off of second base. Jake Brown in his 4th inning of work. He has never worked into the 6th inning in a start this year, as the fastball here misses outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, Brown has worked at least 4 innings 4 different times. His longest outing of the season came back on July 11th against the Camden River Sharks, in which he went 4 2/3 innings. Here, Puckett skies one foul down the right field line. Ziegler gives chase towards the Ducks bullpen, but it will land out of play. Very minimal foul territory once you get halfway into the outfield, really, both down the right field line and the left field line. So that worked out in favor of Puckett, and the count stays at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bailey off of second base represents the go-ahead run for Long Island. The 2-2 pitch to Cody misses inside as Puckett jackknifes out of the way. And now the count will run full to 3 balls and 2 strikes. You have the right-handed hitting Brandon Bance awaiting on deck. Lance Burkhart probably hoping that he could keep Jake Brown into the ballgame until you get to Joash Brodine's spot in the order. As here, Puckett skies one to right center field. Bailey will tag up from second base. Mitchell makes the catch. Bailey's going to sprint over towards third. The throw will go straight in, but it's not in time. So it's a fly out to center field from Cody Puckett, but it's a productive out as it advances Adam Bailey over to third. So the Ducks will have a runner at third base for the second time tonight, with 1 away, and that'll bring up Brandon Bance. But before Bance will step in, Lance Burkhart will come out to the mound, and with the entire infield coming in, this very well could be a pitching change, and it indeed is. So Burkhart will make a call to his bullpen, and Jake Brown's day comes to a close with 1 out in the top of the 4th inning and a runner over at third base. We'll take a break for the pitching change and come back. No score between the Ducks and the Blue Crabs on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Hi, this is right-handed pitcher Josh Lansford, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
It's your money, and you have the power to save it. Make a few simple changes, and you can use less electricity and save real money. By installing Energy Star light bulbs and products for your home, you can save hundreds of dollars each year. At PSEG Long Island, we're working hard to serve you in the way you deserve. Check out our energy-saving tips and tools at psegLINY.com/save money.
Hey Ducks fans, stay up to date with Long Island's hometown team by visiting Quack of the Bat, the official blog of the Long Island Ducks. Quack of the Bat will bring Ducks fans beyond the headlines with in-depth feature articles, breaking news stories, game previews, post-game wrap-ups, and so much more. Interact with the team during the entire 15th anniversary season through live chats with Ducks players and exclusive video clips. Check out the blog today at quackofthebat.wordpress.com. Quack of the Bat, the official blog of the Long Island Ducks. Life is better here.
Hi, this is Bud Harrelson, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Few places on Earth offer the charm and excitement of Fire Island. At Fire Island Ferries, located conveniently at 99 Maple Avenue in Bay Shore, they offer convenient travel to Fire Island 7 days a week. Fire Island is quickly becoming a top destination for families of all ages. Experience the informal, carefree communities, the dazzling night scene, enjoy fine dining, or climb to the top of one of the tallest lighthouses in the United States. But there's only one way to get there, by calling Fire Island Ferries at 631-665-3600 today. For fare and scheduling information, please visit FireIslandFerries.com.
The new pitcher for the Blue Crabs is Jake Hale, making his debut for Southern Maryland. Former Camden River Shark had a nice season with Camden before making his way over here to Southern Maryland. The infield will come in with 1 away, and the first pitch to Brandon Bance is a curveball that misses low for a ball, 1-0. Hale making his debut with the Blue Crabs, 6'7", 200-pound righty from Athens, Ohio. Played both last year and earlier this season with the Camden River Sharks. The 1-0 misses outside, 2 balls and no strikes. He enters the ballgame with 1 away in the top of the 4th, and Adam Bailey leading off of third base. No score between the Ducks and the Blue Crabs. Long Island looking to grab the lead. Inherited runner stranded by Jake Brown. The 2-0 to Bance misses outside, and Hall has come in and thrown 3 consecutive balls, 3-0. You have the switch hitter Joe Ash Brodeen awaiting on deck, but now Joe Ash will have an opportunity to bat from the left side with the righty Hale in the ballgame and the southpaw Brown out. The 3-0 to Bance is right down Broadway for a called strike, 3-1. Earlier this season, Hale made 12 starts with the River Sharks, was 5-3 with a 3.86 earned run average. But now makes his way over to Waldorf, Maryland, as the 3-1 misses outside to Bance, ball 4. Third walk drawn by the Ducks today, and fans, that's another Municipal Credit Union walk with a purpose. Every time a Ducks batter walks, the Quackerjack Foundation wins. So that'll bring up the first baseman, Joe Ash Brodeen, who will now have an opportunity to bat from the left side. Drew a walk back in the second inning against Jake Brown. Brown's day is done, but his book is not yet closed. He works 3 1/3 innings and allows 3 hits, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. But the runner at third base, Adam Bailey, still belongs to Brown, as the first pitch from Hale misses inside, 1-0. So not exactly the long start that the Blue Crabs were looking for out of Jake Brown. And they're asking now Hale to be a long reliever. He's made 12 starts earlier this season, as Brodeen takes the changeup low. 2 balls and no strikes. So Hale very well could be working a long stretch here for the Blue Crabs. Ast is a long reliever. We'll see how this game progresses. No score at top of the 4th, but the Ducks are threatening. Runners on the corners with 1 out. Brodeen looking to give Long Island the lead. The 2-0 from Hale. Fastball misses low and inside. And Hale has thrown now 7 consecutive balls to begin his outing and his Southern Maryland career. We'll see if Joe Ash Brodeen is taking all the way here with the pitcher that is struggling to find the strike zone. The 3-0 misses outside, ball 4. So Jake Hale comes in and walks the first 2 guys that he faces. He actually threw 1 strike to Brandon Bance, so that's 8 balls out of the first 9 pitches that Jake Hall throws in a Southern Maryland uniform. And fans, that's another Municipal Credit Union walk with a purpose. Every time a Ducks batter walks, the Quackerjack Foundation wins. So the bases are now loaded for Long Island with 1 away in the top of the 4th inning. And now Dan the Lyons will step to the plate. Nowhere for Hale to put lines. He has to throw some strikes here, as the first pitch to Lyons is a fastball on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Lyons is 0 for 1 today, reached on a fielder's choice back in the 2nd inning. Adam Bailey leads off of third base, Bance off of second, and Joe Ash Brodeen off of first. The 0-1 to Lyons misses outside. 1 ball and 1 strike now. Hale last season with the Camden River Sharks went 3-7 with a 5.43 ERA. But he had been pitching better this season. The 1-1 swung on and lined foul off the backstop. And Lyons has fallen behind in the count, 1-2. Hale spent 2 seasons in the Arizona Diamondbacks farm system, after he was drafted in the 27th round of the 2009 amateur draft. The 1-2 to Lyons is fouled off, so Dan's able to stay alive. Spent 2 seasons in the Diamondbacks organization, reaching as high as High A Visalia in the California League in 2010. But has spent his last now 3 seasons in independent baseball. A couple in the Cam-Am League, and here now in the Atlantic League. From the windup, the 1-2 to Lyons. Fastball grounded foul down the third base line. Dan able to stay alive, fight off some tough pitches against Jake Hale. No runs on 3 hits, 1 error for the Ducks. No runs on 3 hits, and no errors for the Blue Crabs. Hale from the windup with the bases loaded, the 1-2. Fisted foul once again. And Lyons continues to work a strong at bat here. Trying to give Long Island the lead. Mitch Talbot's on the mound for the Ducks, and he has pitched well so far. Has held the Blue Crabs scoreless through the first 3 innings. I'm sure he'd like to see Long Island scratch together a run or two here in the 4th. Once again, the 1-2 pitch. Curveball grounded over to third. Backhanded stop made by Opitz. His throw to home for 1. The throw to first, not in time. But a strong defensive play there made from Jake Opitz. That robs Dan Lyons of a base hit and potentially robs Long Island of 2 runs. So it'll just be a fielder's choice for Dan. 5-2 fielder's choice. Second time he's grounded into one today. Bailey's retired at home on the 5-2 putout. Bance advances over to third, Brodin to second, and now Lyons at first as the lineup moves back to the top in Phelan Lentini. The Ducks have stranded 4 runners over the first 3 innings of this ball game, and right now have the bases loaded, trying to find that big hit to put them out in front. Infield now will back off and play deep with 2 away. First pitch here to Phelan, a curveball on the inside corner for a strike. 0-1. Solid speed along the base paths for the Ducks, hoping to find that big hit. The 0-1 from Hale. Check swing. Did he go around? No. And the count moves to 1-1. Hale made 1 appearance against the Ducks this season as a member of the Camden River Sharks, and that came back on June 20th, in which he allowed 5 runs on 7 hits over 5 1/3 innings. Here, Lentini grounds one softly up the middle. Backhanded stop made by Stevens is tossed to second in time, and that will retire the side. So Jake Hale comes in, eventually loads the bases on a pair of walks, bends but does not break as the Ducks strand 3 here in the top of the 4th inning. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 3 runners left on base. Move to the bottom of the 4th inning. No score between the Ducks and the Blue Crabs on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Hey fans, this is pitcher Sean Garceau, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Beautify your patio, walkway, driveway, or pool surround with Nicolak paving stones and walls. Nicolak's specially formulated paver shield offers extra surface wear protection and color enhancement throughout the thickness of the paver. Paver shield guarantees that your pavers will look great for years to come. Bring home the elegance with Nicolak. Visit the Nicolak Design Center, Sunrise Highway, Lindenhurst, or Nicolak.com.
Let Nicolak Pavers, Nicolak Pavers, pave your way.
Hey, Duck fans, you want all the latest inside info on your back-to-back Atlantic League champion Long Island Ducks? Then follow Ducks president and general manager Michael Pfaff on Twitter at twitter.com/LIDucksGM. You'll find out first right here about player transactions, special stories, and so much more. You'll also be able to interact with Michael directly and get his take on all things Ducks baseball. Head to twitter.com/LIDucksGM today and make sure to follow along throughout the entire 15th anniversary season. Ducks baseball. Life is better here.
Mitch Talbot back to the mound here as we move to the bottom of the 4th inning. Still scoreless between the Ducks and the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Mark Schwartz on the call on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball. Also live audio, streaming at liducks.com. Talbot here will work against the 4, 5, 6 batters for the Blue Crabs. It'll be Luke Merton, C.J. Ziegler, and Jamar Walton. First pitch to Merton is a fastball at the knees for a called strike, 0-1. Well, both teams have had a bend but not break approach so far in this ball game, as we have still yet to see our first run, as Talbot's fastball misses outside, 1-1. The Ducks loaded the bases in the top of the 4th inning, but failed to capitalize after Dan Lyons grounded into a fielder's choice, as here Merton fouls one off. 1-2's the count. Lyons grounded into a fielder's choice, and Phelan Lentini grounded out to short to end that threat. The Ducks now have stranded 7 runners on base through the first 4 innings of this ball game. The 1-2 to Merton. Fastball misses low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Blue Crabs have stranded 3 runners through the first 2 innings. They had runners on the corners with 2 away in the bottom of the 3rd, but Mitch Talbot forced Jake Opitz to line out to center field to retire the side, as the fastball here misses low, and the count will run full. Now 3 balls and 2 strikes. Merton's the DH for the Blue Crabs tonight. He grounded out to third base back in the 1st inning. The Blue Crabs have threatened both in the 1st and the 3rd, but both times failed to capitalize. Here's the 3-2 from Talbot. Fastball grounded over to short. Lyons in front, fields it cleanly, and his throw to first is in time for out number 1. So 1 away. That'll bring up C.J. Ziegler. Ziegler struck out swinging back in the 2nd inning. 0 for 1 today, was 3 for 3 yesterday, and was the main catalyst in the Blue Crabs lineup. Had the solo home run in the bottom of the 2nd inning of yesterday's ball game, which at the time gave the Blue Crabs just a 2-run deficit. Here he grounds the first pitch over to third. Harris with the backhand collects himself and fires it onto first in time for the 2nd out. A savvy defensive play there made from Brendan Harris. 2 away, and that'll bring up Jamar Walton. And that's a player that shows off his experience defensively there, as Harris had made the backhand on the sharply hit grounder, but once he made the backhanded stop, kind of stumbled a little bit. But knowing that Ziegler isn't the most fleet of foot, Harris did not rush himself at all, fielded the ball, stumbled, then collected himself, and then took a step towards first and fired a bullet on. As here, Walton grounds the first pitch to Puckett, who knocks it down, spins around, the throw to first in time. An adventurous ground ball there from Cody Puckett, but he's able to somehow will the ball onto first base in time to record the final out, and Mitch Talbot has himself a 1-2-3 bottom of the 4th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. Through 4, we remain scoreless on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Hey fans, this is infield Sergio Miranda, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
James Simmons is going back. He is looking up, and on Bark in the Park Night, that one is gone and reaches a kennel in Central Islip. That was another home run for the Ducks. And Duck fans, what's more fun than a home run that helps the Ducks win a game? How about a homer that helps the community win? Chappie's Funeral Home and the Long Island Ducks have once again teamed up for the Chappie's Home Run Challenge. If the Ducks hit 100 homers this season, Chappie's Funeral Home will donate $5,000 to the Quackerjack Foundation. So every time a Ducks hitter goes deep this season, watch for the Chappie's Challenge home run count on the scoreboard. And if we reach 100, we're all a winner. Chappie's Funeral Home, where caring for others is a family tradition.
Baseball fans, the Long Island Ducks mobile app has officially arrived. Powered by ClearVision apps, it's your one-stop shop for all things Ducks baseball. Buy tickets straight from your mobile device. Receive game status updates with push notifications. Check out up-to-the-minute news and scores and interact with the Ducks on social media. Best of all, it's free. Download the Ducks mobile app today by visiting the App Store on your Apple-powered device or Google Play on your Android-powered device. The Long Island Ducks mobile app, with you wherever you flock to.
And welcome back to Regency Furniture Stadium. Mark Schwartz here on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball. Fans, make sure you stop by the Waddle-In Shop on your next visit to the Duck Pond, where exclusive, hard-to-find Ducks memorabilia is now on sale. Proceeds benefit the Quackerjack Foundation, the charitable arm of the Long Island Ducks. So Jake Hall remains in the ballgame for the Blue Crabs as we move to the top of the 5th inning. No score between the Ducks and Southern Maryland. First pitch curveball here to Brendan Harris, drops in for a called strike, 0-1. Harris is 1 for 2 today. Doubled on the first pitch he saw against the Blue Crabs starter, Jake Brown, back in the first inning. The 0-1 from Hale. Fastball misses upstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike. It'll be the 2-3-4 batters due up here for Long Island. Brendan Harris, followed by Lou Ford and Bill Hall. The 1-1 to Harris. Fastball misses upstairs. 2 balls and 1 strike. Hale entered the ballgame for Jake Brown in the top of the 4th inning. Was able to navigate his way out of some danger. Here's the 2-1 offering. Fastball misses upstairs. 3 balls and 1 strike. So Jake Brown's day has officially come to a close, and his line is now closed as well. He works 3 1/3 innings of scoreless baseball, allows 3 hits, 2 walks, and strikes out 3 batters. The 3-1. Fastball right down the middle for a called strike. And that'll run the count full now at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Again, it's the second time that the Ducks have seen Jake Hale this season, despite this being Hale's first appearance with the Blue Crabs. The 3-2 to Harris is popped up, shallow right. Out goes C.J. Ziegler. In comes Jamar Walton. Ziegler can't make the play, but it lands in foul territory. And the count remains full. Again, Hall made 12 starts with the River Sharks earlier this season and played well, had 5-3 record with a 3.85 ERA. Granted, he didn't strike out a lot of batters, only 37 Ks and 81 2/3 innings of work. But he played well with Camden. Nonetheless, he signed with Southern Maryland earlier today, and now here he is on the mound. Included his last time out was back on June 26th, however, so he hasn't been active for a while for the River Sharks before making his way over here to Southern Maryland as the fastball misses upstairs to Brendan Harris for ball 4. It's the 4th walk drawn by a Ducks batter today, and fans, that's another Municipal Credit Union walk with a purpose. Every time a Ducks batter walks, the Quackerjack Foundation wins. And for Brendan Harris, that's his team-leading 47th walk of the season. He has been a walk machine so far this year, as he is now tied with Eric Pattison for 3rd in the league in walks, and that's despite coming over to Long Island about a month into the season. Here the fastball to Lou Ford misses low. 1 ball and no strikes to the Ducks hitting coach and starting center fielder tonight. He was 0 for 1. He walked back in the 1st inning, struck out looking in the 3rd. The 1-0 to Lou. Fastball right down the middle for a called strike, 1-1. Hale had a couple of very nice appearances for the River Sharks earlier this season. 3 times he worked at least 8 innings. As the 1-1 here is lined through the hole on the left side, and Lou Ford has himself a base hit. 4th hit of the ball game for the Ducks. And Long Island with runners at 1st and 2nd, and nobody out here in the top of the 5th, looking to try and finally scratch together a run here against the Blue Crabs. Ducks had 15 hits and 8 runs in yesterday's ball game. They failed to find that big hit just yet. We'll have a meeting on the mound now for the Blue Crabs. As Lance Burkhart's coming out, we'll see if he makes a pitching change or not. Remember, with the new pace of play rules, you're only allowed 3 mound visits, which do not result in a pitching change. All those mound visits are considered timeouts. So no signal yet to the bullpen, and now he'll make the signal. So Jake Hale's day has come to a close, and we'll have a new pitcher in the ballgame for the Blue Crabs, with runners at 1st and 2nd, and nobody out in the top of the 5th inning. We'll take a break for the pitching change and come back, as the Ducks and the Blue Crabs remain knotted at 0 on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Hi, this is right-handed pitcher Josh Lansford, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
It's your money, and you have the power to save it. Make a few simple changes, and you can use less electricity and save real money. By installing Energy Star light bulbs and products for your home, you can save hundreds of dollars each year. At PSEG Long Island, we're working hard to serve you in the way you deserve. Check out our energy-saving tips and tools at psegLINY.com/save money.
Hey Ducks fans, stay up to date with Long Island's hometown team by visiting Quack of the Bat, the official blog of the Long Island Ducks. Quack of the Bat will bring Ducks fans beyond the headlines with in-depth feature articles, breaking news stories, game previews, post-game wrap-ups, and so much more. Interact with the team during the entire 15th anniversary season through live chats with Ducks players and exclusive video clips. Check out the blog today at quackofthebat.wordpress.com. Quack of the Bat, the official blog of the Long Island Ducks. Life is better here.
Wade Corpy is the new pitcher for the Blue Crabs here with 2 runners on and nobody out in the top of the 5th inning. Brendan Harris leads off of second base after he drew a leadoff walk, and Lou Ford off of first. Wade Corpy, the southpaw, comes into this ballgame to try to strand both inherited runners. Corpy stands at 6 feet, 185 pounds, from Sneedville, Tennessee, second season with the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Overall, Corpy is 3-2 with a 2.49 ERA and 38 relief appearances. Well, 38 appearances overall. He's made 3 starts. One of them came against the Ducks, actually. The last time Long Island was at Regency Furniture Stadium. But a big situation in this ball game. Cleanup batter for the Ducks at the plate in the form of Bill Hall, and he takes the first pitch fastball low, 1-0. Both teams have had their opportunities to score throughout this ball game, but neither have been able to capitalize. Long Island looking to do so here. They have runners at first and second and nobody out. And a cleanup batter, Bill Hall at the plate. The 1-0 from Corpy. Fastball on the outside corner for a called strike, 1-1. Hall's 0 for 2 today. Struck out looking against Jake Brown in the first. Struck out swinging against Brown in the third. Brown had 3 strikeouts in the ballgame, 2 of which came against Hall. Infield plays back with nobody out, hoping for a double play ground ball. The 1-1. Changeup just misses off the plate. 2 balls and 1 strike. So originally I thought there might have been an opportunity that Jake Hale could be used as a long reliever for the Blue Crabs tonight, with Jake Brown only going 3 1/3 innings. But instead, he only goes 2/3 of an inning, as here Hall grounds one over to third. Opitz fields onto second base for 1. The turn to first in time. A 5-4-3 double play. Brendan Harris advances over to third on the play. But Bill Hall has had a tough day at the plate now. 2 strikeouts and a double play ground out. So for the 3rd time tonight, the Ducks will have a runner at third base. This time it's with 2 out, and the left-handed hitting Adam Bailey at the plate. Bailey's 1 for 2 today. He had a ground rule double down the right field line, his last at bat. Lefty on lefty matchup here. First pitch from Corpy, a fastball on the inside corner for a strike, 0-1. Again, Bailey has played very well against left-handed pitching this season, as he has a .293 batting average against southpaws compared to a .294 batting average against right-handed pitching. Harris took a large secondary lead there as the fastball nearly got away from the catcher, James Skelton. Couldn't find it at first, but it was right under him on the fastball that missed low. So Harris holds at third base, and the count runs even at 1 ball and 1 strike. But a big double play ground ball that Wade Corpy got off the bat of Bill Hall. Again, the go-ahead run 90 feet away from home plate here. The 1-1 to Bailey, a fastball at the knees for a called strike, 1-2. Corpy trying to strand all the inherited base runners and keep this game scoreless. No runs on 4 hits, 1 error for Long Island. No runs on 3 hits and no errors for Southern Maryland. Corpy stares into Skelton for the call. Comes set. He'll work from the stretch. The 1-2 pitch. Check swing. Bailey went around, but he was able to get a piece of that one, and Skelton's not able to hold on to the ball. So Bailey stays alive, and the count holds at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Corpy's got a fastball that seems a little heavy from up here. It runs inside to the left-handed hitting Bailey. Looks like it's hard to turn on. As the 1-2 here is lifted to shallow right center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Brendan Harris scores from third base. It's an RBI single for Adam Bailey, his second hit of the ballgame and his 58th run batted in this year. And the Ducks have finally gotten on the scoreboard. They lead it 1-0 over the Blue Crabs here in the top of the 5th inning. So there's the big hit that the Ducks have been looking for. It's a big 2-out RBI single from Adam Bailey. And Long Island has broken the ice here in the top of the 5th. As Cody Puckett will step to the plate now, 1 for 2 today. Bailey leads off of first. First pitch from Corpy is skied out to right center field. In comes Jamar Walton. Has plenty of time, and he makes the catch to retire the side. But the Ducks do scratch together a run on an RBI single from Adam Bailey. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. Halfway home, the Ducks lead 1-0 on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Hi, this is pitcher Jared Lansford, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
All 2,000 of us at PSEG Long Island care deeply about our communities. Our company has a long-standing commitment to giving back. And our people, along with our energy efficiency and renewable energy programs, are helping to improve the businesses and towns we all call home. Learn more about how we're working together to better serve our communities. Visit us at psegLINY.com/community.
Take your group out to the ball game this season and enjoy all the fun of Ducks baseball at discounted prices with the Hebrew National Picnic Area, luxury suites, the Smokin' Owls party deck, and so much more. Bringing your group to the game will be an unforgettable experience. The Ducks even offer opportunities to sing the national anthem, serve as a color guard, be the Nicolak Dream Team, put on a pregame performance, display your group's artwork, or shag fly balls during Ducks batting practice. To book your outing today, call 631-940-3825 and ask for the group sales department. Long Island Ducks baseball. Life is better here.
Mitch Talbot comes back onto the mound for the bottom of the 5th inning as Long Island now leads it 1-0 over the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Mark Schwartz on the call here on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball. A 2-out RBI single from Adam Bailey in the top of the 5th has put the Ducks in front, and now Mitch Talbot will work against the bottom of the order for Southern Maryland. First pitch fastball to Addison Maruzak is taken on the outside corner for a called strike, 0-1. Talbot has retired the last 5 that he has faced, including a very quick 1-2-3 bottom of the 4th inning. Here the fastball to Maruzak misses outside, 1-1. So Talbot now has himself a lead. 1 run on 5 hits, 1 error for the Ducks, no runs on 3 hits, and no errors for the Blue Crabs. The 1-1 to Maruzak, swung on and chopped foul down the third base line, and the count moves to 1-2. Well, Wade Corpy came in of relief of Jake Hall in the top of the 5th inning and nearly got himself out of a jam. He entered with runners at first and second and nobody out. Immediately got Bill Hall to ground into a 5-4-3 double play. As the 1-2 here misses outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Maruzak. But after getting the double play ground out from Bill Hall, Corpy, the lefty, worked against the left-handed hitting Adam Bailey. As here Maruzak grounds one up the middle and through for a base hit. 4th hit of the ball game for the Blue Crabs. Corpy was unable to retire Adam Bailey, who blooped an RBI base hit to shallow right center field. And that has the Ducks in front, 1-0. So here Maruzak will lead off of first base. A lead-off base runner on for the Blue Crabs for the second time tonight, and that'll bring up James Skelton, the catcher, who's 0 for 1. Talbot about to throw his 62nd pitch of this ball game. With nobody out in the bottom of the 5th, has been able to keep his pitch count pretty economical so far as the fastball misses outside to Skelton, 1-0. Brendan Harris creeping in at third base. He's expecting a potential bunt from Skelton, thinking the Blue Crabs might play some small ball at the bottom of their order. trailing just 1-0. Talbot from the stretch, the 1-0 to Skelton, swinging away, and he chops it foul off his ankle. 1-1. Well, Skelton will take a second now as fouled that one off of his, looked like his left ankle. Last night, Skelton went 0 for 4 from the plate with a pair of strikeouts. He's now struck out 3 times already in this series. Started off the season with the Lancaster Barnstormers. Hit just a shade over 200 in his time with Lancaster over 46 games, but did have 8 home runs during that span. So certainly is a threat to go deep, though. This ballpark here in Southern Maryland, not as hitter-friendly as Clipper Magazine Stadium is over in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Talbot from the stretch here. He'll throw over to first base. And back standing safely is Addison Maruzak. So it'll be interesting to watch as Skelton's season progresses with the Blue Crabs, how his time here with Southern Maryland will affect his statistics. We've already seen a bump in his batting average since he's moved over here to Regency Furniture Stadium, as the fastball misses outside 2-1. He's yet to hit a home run in a Blue Crabs uniform. So you don't want to fully attribute that to the difference in ballpark between here, Regency Furniture Stadium, and over at Clipper Magazine Stadium. But maybe he's not aiming to go deep as often because he doesn't have that short right field porch. Here, Maruzak takes off as it's grounded over to second. Puckett fields cleanly and his only plays over to first, in which he fields successfully. So it's a 4-3 putout for James Skelton, but with Maruzak running on the play, he advances over to second base. So it almost works like a sacrifice bunt from James Skelton, only he's now 0 for 2 today. That'll bring up Amadeo Zazueta. Dangerous batter. He's 1 for 1. Line to base hit to left field back in the third inning. One of 4 hits in the ballgame for the Blue Crabs. So that the Maryland could use another one here with Maruzak leading off of second base. Solid speed. Talbot will work from the stretch, checks the runner. First pitch, squares around a bunt, pulls the bat back as the fastball misses upstairs 1-0. Zazueta got the rally started for the Blue Crabs in the bottom of the 8th inning of yesterday's ballgame. With a base hit, eventually scored a run. Overall was 1 for 4 in that game with a run scored. Here the 1-0 curve misses low. 2 balls and no strikes now to Zazueta. Right-handed batter, rounding up the order for the Blue Crabs tonight. Southern Maryland looking to even up this ball game and try to start to chip away at the Ducks, who have really owned this season series. This is now the 13th game played between these two sides this year, and over the first 12, the Ducks have taken 10. Here the fastball misses outside from Talbot, and he's quickly fallen behind of Amadeo Zazueta. 3 balls and no strikes. We've got Jermaine Mitchell awaiting on deck. Mitchell's been on base 2 times today. He had 3 hits in last night's ball game. Here's the 3-0 to Zazueta. He takes all the way, and the fastball is right down the middle for a strike, 3-1. First base is unoccupied here. You have Maruzak leading off of second. The infield plays back. The 3-1 is lifted deep left field. Back goes Bailey, still moving back right at the edge of the warning track. He makes the catch. And retreating to second goes Maruzak. Bailey threw behind him, but Maruzak's able to get back to the bag safely. Zazueta narrowly missing what would have been his 4th home run of the season. It reads 3-10 down the left field line here at Regency Furniture Stadium. And Bailey made that catch with his back right up against the fence. So Talbot able to keep that ball in the ballpark. 2 away now in the bottom of the 5th. That'll bring us back to the top of the order and Jermaine Mitchell. Mitchell's 1 for 1 today. He's been on base 2 times. Walked in the first, singled in the third. Talbot from the stretch checks the runner at second base. First pitch here to Mitchell. Fastball grounded over to second base. Puckett fields the long hop, his throw to first in time, and that will retire the side. So Mitch Talbot able to work himself around the leadoff base hit to Addison Maruzak. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. Through 5 innings, the Ducks lead 1-0 over the Blue Crabs on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Hey fans. This is outfielder Phelan Lentini, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Hi, I'm former Major Leaguer John Franco. Growing up in Brooklyn, I dreamed of playing professional baseball. My dad, a city employee, worked hard so I could live out that dream. The team at MCU is a lot like my dad. They're New Yorkers you can count on, and they'll work hard to help you reach your financial goals.
Municipal Credit Union has a full range of financial services that make sense in today's economy. Join today. Call 1-866-JOIN-MCU or visit nymcu.org.
MCU, strong, trusted, growing.
Hey, Ducks fans, the official hotel of the Long Island Ducks is the Upsky Long Island Hotel in Hauppauge. It's centrally located on the north shore of Long Island and offers a home away from home for both business and leisure guests. The Upsky Long Island Hotel features an indoor pool, 24-hour business center, a fitness center, and complimentary Wi-Fi in all guest rooms. Enjoy the contemporary American cuisine at the Fountain Grill restaurant or grab a quick bite to eat at Cafe Pronto. Best of all, it's only minutes from Bethpage Ballpark. The Upsky Long Island Hotel, the official hotel of the Long Island Ducks. Call 231-1100 today. That's 631-231-1100.
Wade Corpy remains in the ballgame for the Blue Crabs as we move to the top of the 6th inning here at Regency Furniture Stadium. Fans follow all season long as the Long Island Ducks try and meet the Chappie's Home Run Challenge. If the Ducks hit 100 home runs, Chappie's Funeral Homes will donate $5,000 to the Quackerjack Foundation. Chappie's Funeral Homes, where caring for others is our family tradition. First pitch from Wade Corpy to Brandon Bantz is grounded over to short. Stevens takes his time and delivers the ball high over to first base, but Ziegler keeps his foot on the bag for out number 1. So 1 pitch and 1 away here in the top of the 6th, and that'll bring up Joash Brodin. It'll be Brodin followed by Dan Lyons due up for Long Island here in the 6th, with the Ducks holding on to a 1-0 lead. A run on 5 hits, 1 error for the Flock. No runs on 4 hits and no errors for the Crabs. Corpy works from the windup. The first pitch to Brodin. Fastball misses outside, 1-0. Joash, a switch hitter. He's walked twice. Once from the left side of the plate and once from the right side of the plate. Here, Corpy from the windup, the 1-0. Fastball on the outside corner for a strike, 1-1. Jake Brown was the starting pitcher for the Blue Crabs tonight, and he went 3 1/3 innings without allowing a run. As the fastball here misses low, 2 balls and 1 strike. So Brodin's first at-bat came as a right-handed batter against the southpaw Brown. His second at-bat came against Jake Hale, who is a right-handed reliever. So Brodin hit from the left side. As the 2-1 here to Joash misses inside, 3 balls and 1 strike. And now once again you have a left-handed pitcher on the mound in the form of Wade Corpy, so once again Brodin has to switch over to the right side of the plate, but he's ahead in the count now, 3-1. Corpy from the windup. Fastball is grounded over to short, fielded on 1 hop by Stevens at the edge of the infield dirt, fires the ball across the diamond for out number 2. So quickly 2 away here in the top of the 6th inning on a pair of 6-3 putouts, and that'll bring up Dan Lyons, the number 9 batter in the order for the Ducks tonight. Lyons is grounded into a pair of fielder's choices. That includes grounding out to third base back in the 4th inning with the bases loaded. There was a nice spinning stop made by Jake Opitz, robbing Lyons of a base hit. And Opitz fired home for the force out to keep the game scoreless at that point. As the fastball here from Corpy's in there for a called strike, 0-1. Phelan Lentini then grounded out to short to retire the side in that inning and keep the game scoreless for the time being. As the 0-1 to Lyons misses low, 1-1. The Ducks would then grab a lead in the top of the 5th inning on a 2-out RBI single from Adam Bailey, scoring Brendan Harris from third base. The 1-1 here, fastball misses outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. So the Ducks still nursing that 1-0 lead. Mitch Talbot's been strong on the mound so far. It never hurts to get insurance runs as Lyons fists the fastball foul. And the count runs even now to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lyons went 1 for 5 yesterday, now 1 for 7 in this series so far against the Blue Crabs. The 2-2 pitch. Fastball misses upstairs, and that'll run the count full now to 3 balls and 2 strikes. From the windup, the 3-2. Fastball swung on, tipped, but held on by the catcher James Skelton, and that will retire the side. It's the first strikeout for Wade Corpy as he works a 1-2-3, top of the 6th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. We'll move to the bottom of the 6th. Ducks lead 1-0 on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Hi, this is Adam Bailey, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Few places on Earth offer the charm and excitement of Fire Island. At Fire Island Ferries, located conveniently at 99 Maple Avenue in Bay Shore, they offer convenient travel to Fire Island 7 days a week. Fire Island is quickly becoming a top destination for families of all ages. Experience the informal, carefree communities, the dazzling night scene, enjoy fine dining, or climb to the top of one of the tallest lighthouses in the United States. But there's only one way to get there, by calling Fire Island Ferries at 631-665-3600 today. For fare and scheduling information, please visit FireIslandFerries.com.
Bring your birthday to the ballpark this season and celebrate with the flock. Kona Ice birthday party packages with the Long Island Ducks are now available for the 2014 season. Each package includes 10 box seats, a commemorative birthday t-shirt and autographed baseball, a pizza and Kona Ice party in the Hebrew National Picnic area, and so much more. Best of all, the birthday child will stand on the dugout while the entire crowd sings happy birthday. Reserve your party today by calling 631-940-3825 and ask for the group sales department. Kona Ice birthday parties with the Long Island Ducks, a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Mitch Talbot back onto the mound for the bottom of the 6th inning as he'll work against the 2-3-4 batters for the Blue Crabs. Bobby Stevens, Jake Opitz, and Luke Merton due up with Long Island holding on to a 1-0 lead. Talbot works from the windup at the first pitch to Stevens, a fastball that misses outside, 1 ball and no strikes. A run on 5 hits, 1 error for the Ducks, no runs on 4 hits, and no errors for the Blue Crabs. Talbot from the windup here, the 1-0. Fastball fouled off over the backstop. 1-1. Stevens is 0 for 2 today, grounded into a pair of fielder's choices. But a little more adventurous fielder's choice that he grounded into back in the bottom of the 1st inning, where the Blue Crabs had an opportunity to grab a lead over the Ducks, but failed to capitalize, and that's really been the storyline for Southern Maryland in this ballgame. The 1-1 from Talbot. Slider on the inside corner for a strike, 1-2. In that 1st inning, Jermaine Mitchell led off with a walk. He then stole second base and advanced to third on a throwing error from the catcher Brandon Bance. And then with Bobby Stevens at the plate, Stevens softly grounded one back over to Talbot, who fielded it cleanly. So the 1-2 here is lined over Cody Puckett and into right center field for a base hit. Ford will cut it off. Taking a wide turn around first is Stevens. He'll hold there. It's a base hit for Bobby Stevens. 5th hit of the ball game for the Blue Crabs, and the 2nd consecutive inning in which they have a leadoff base runner. So now Jake Opitz will step in, 1 for 2 today. But back at that 1st inning, it was Stevens grounding it softly back to Talbot, who fielded it cleanly and then threw onto third base to catch Jermaine Mitchell in a rundown. Eventually Harris threw it onto the catcher Brandon Bance, who tagged out Mitchell and then spun around and threw it onto second base to throw out Stevens, trying to take second base in the midst of that rundown as Talbot throws over to first here, and Stevens barely gets back diving safely. And it was just like that the Blue Crabs' opportunity to threaten in the bottom of the 1st inning went away, and they have still yet to score in this ballgame. Talbot from the stretch, the first pitch to the left-handed hitting Opitz, a fastball on the inside corner for a strike, 0-1. Talbot is allowed now 5 hits in this ballgame. Has walked 1 batter and has struck out 2. All the while keeping the Blue Crabs off the scoreboard. And once again, Talbot will throw over to first, and once again, Stevens just able to dive back in safely. Sorry, Talbot has 3 strikeouts, not 2 strikeouts. Trying to parlay his success from his last time out against Camden to another successful start here against the Blue Crabs. The 0-1 swung on and chopped foul. Opitz just able to get a piece of that one out in front of an off-speed pitch. And now Talbot's worked ahead in the count, 0-2. Talbot's last time out, he worked 6 innings of 1-run ball against the Camden River Sharks, but received a no decision in a ball game the Ducks eventually lost 4-3. Here he works from the stretch, the 0-2. Fastball misses well upstairs. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Talbot has not allowed more than 3 runs in any of his first 5 appearances with Long Island this year. Earned a win in his first appearance of the season. Worked 1 inning of relief in which he allowed 1 run back on July 5th. Here he works from the stretch, the 1-2. Fastball blooped, shallow center. Out goes Dan Lyons, has time, and he makes the catch right at the beginning of the outfield grass. 1 away now in the bottom of the 6th inning, and that'll bring up Luke Morton. Check the out-of-town scoreboard once again in the Atlantic League as well, as all 8 teams are currently underway. Here at Regency Furniture Stadium in Waldorf, Maryland, the Ducks are leading it over the Blue Crabs 1-0. Merton's 0 for 2 today, as Talbot works from the windup. And the first pitch to Merton swings over a curveball, and the count moves to 0-1. In the bottom of the 9th inning, the Sugar Land Skeeters are currently leading the York Revolution 3-1 at Santander Stadium. A score that does not help out the Ducks, as the 0-1 misses inside, and it got a piece of Merton. Just nipped the baggy part of his jersey. You could hear it from up here. Merton will take first base on the hit batsman. First hit batsman we've seen in this series. And that puts runners at first and second base with 1 out for number 5 batter C.J. Ziegler. Very dangerous batter, but he's 0 for 2 so far today. Struck out in the 2nd. Grounded out to third base in the 4th. But the reason the Sugar Land Skeeters' 3-1 lead over the Revs doesn't help out the Ducks is you have to start being cognizant of the wild card race here in the Atlantic League. And if the Somerset Patriots do indeed win the second half in the Liberty Division, which is what they are currently on pace to do, then the Ducks' next best option and only hope really to get into the postseason would be through a wild card. As the first pitch from Mitch Talbot here to C.J. Ziegler misses outside, 1-0. Talbot in the mid-80s with his pitch count right now, so starting to creep up north a little bit, but he's still very economical. See how Kevin Baez plays it with his bullpen. As Talbot stares in for the call and freezes the batter a little bit, so C.J. Ziegler will ask for time. But with the wild card standings, as we mentioned at the outset of this broadcast, right now the Ducks are fighting for positioning alongside Sugar Land Skeeters and the Lancaster Barnstormers, because the wild card goes the best overall record regardless of division. As the curveball drops in for a strike here, 1-1. Of course, Sugar Land right now is in first place in the Freedom Division, 2 games up on the York Revolution, Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, and Lancaster Barnstormers. All 4 teams in the Freedom Division are separated by just 2 games. So if the Skeeters were hypothetically to win the Freedom Division in the second half, then they wouldn't factor into the wild card standings, but they would take away potential playoff spot. Bance snap throw down to first base, and they catch Luke Merton. Merton with a very large secondary lead. Bance took the fastball out that was missed outside for a ball, and snap throw down to first. Brodeen creeped in behind Merton, who was picked off of first base. A 2-3 putout retires Merton, now 2 away here in the bottom of the 6th. And Bobby Stevens remains at second base, but this inning immediately looks a lot less daunting for Mitch Talbot. Nice defensive play there from a combination of Brandon Bance and Joe Ash Brodeen, as the curveball misses outside. And the count now moves to 3 balls and 1 strike to Ziegler. And you think that Talbot might be a little more enticed to pitch around C.J. Ziegler here. You do have a left-handed hitter awaiting on deck in Jamar Walton. But Ziegler's a far more dangerous batter than Walton is. And he represents the go-ahead run here in the bottom of the 6th. It's a 3-1 count to Ziegler. Talbot from the stretch. The 3-1. Fastball chopped softly right back in front of home plate, but it deflects off of Ziegler's ankle. And the count will run full now to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Brandon Bance with a bullet of a snap throw down to first base. Catches Luke Merton well off the first base bag. I don't know why Luke was taking such a large secondary lead, but he was caught napping as Bance's throw beat him back to the bag by a mile. Brodin actually had to reach out away from first base just to apply the tag to Merton, whose dive back to the bag came up about 3 feet short. It was that impressive of a play from Bance that beat Merton by a mile. So instead of runners at first and second and 1 away, now it's just a runner at second base and 2 out. And Talbot a strike away from getting out of this inning unscathed. The 3-2 pitch swung on and chopped right back in front of home plate, but it stays foul as Ziegler kind of stepped over it on his follow-through, made contact with his foot while he was in the batter's box, and it'll be a foul ball. The count stays full at 3-2. Talbot trying to negotiate this inning and get out without allowing a run to keep the Ducks in front. Long Island holding on to a 1-0 lead here in the middle game of this 3-game series at Regency Furniture Stadium. Bobby Stevens leads off of second after he initially led off the inning with a base hit. The 3-2 pitch. Fastball misses low, ball 4. I get the feeling that Talbot isn't going to be too displeased by walking C.J. Ziegler there. Yes, it does put the go-ahead run on base. And you do have to face against a left-handed batter in the form of Jamar Walton here. But again, Ziegler a far more dangerous batter than Walton. And after Brodin and Brandon Bance picked off Merton from first base, Ziegler's at-bat became a lot more expendable. So now Talbot will settle in and work from the stretch against Walton to try to get out of this inning. First pitch to Jamar, fastball misses low, 1-0. Walton's 0 for 2 today, both times grounding out to second base. He's been an aggressive batter in this series, normally swinging early in the count. See what he does here as Talbot from the stretch, the 1-0. Fastball lifted, shallow right field. In comes Phelan Lentini. He's under it, and he makes the catch. And Mitch Talbot's able to negotiate the bottom of the 6th and get out unscathed. No runs for the Blue Crabs on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. Through 6 innings, the Ducks continue to lead 1-0 over Southern Maryland on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Hi, this is pitcher John Brownell, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Hey Ducks fans, your recreation destination this year is The Rinks at Hidden Pond Park. The Rinks features 2 full-size ice rinks, a 97-acre summer day camp, a New York State licensed preschool academy, and a wide variety of birthday party options. Learn to skate, join one of many hockey leagues, swim in an Olympic-sized pool, and enjoy all the fun that The Rinks has to offer. Visit us today at 660 Terry Road in Hauppauge, or check us out online at therinks.com. The Rinks, your recreation destination.
Can't get enough of the Long Island Ducks? Well, now you can get even more inside info on your favorite hometown team through Facebook and Twitter. The Ducks are constantly updating fans through social media with scores, transactions, ballpark promotions, and much more. You can even win great prizes. All you'll need to do is make a free account on Facebook and Twitter, and then visit us at facebook.com/LIDucks and twitter.com/LIDucks. Think you're Long Island's biggest Ducks fan? Get connected now.
Wade Corpy remains in the ballgame for the Blue Crabs as we move to the top of the 7th inning here. Fans warm up with a hot cup of Hampton Coffee Company gourmet coffee available at our concession stands at Bethpage Ballpark during home games. Regular and decaf, Hampton Coffee is the preferred coffee of the Long Island Ducks. Visit HamptonCoffeeCompany.com or visit their cafes in the Hamptons. So Wade Corpy, who allowed the 2-out RBI single to Adam Bailey in the top of the 5th inning, which has provided the difference in this ball game so far, remains in the game, and he'll work against the top of the order here in the top of the 7th inning. Phelan Lentini will lead things off. First pitch from Corpy is a fastball that misses high and outside, 1-0. Lentini's 0 for 3 so far today. The 1-0 from Corpy, a slider, misses outside, 2 balls and no strikes. So one game has officially gone final here in the Atlantic League as the Sugar Land Skeeters defeat the York Revolution 3-1 at Santander Stadium. As the 2-0 to Lentini has popped up, foul territory. First base side, Skelton will give it a look, but it'll land out of play. And the count moves to 2-1. Other out-of-town scores in the Atlantic League. Bottom of the 7th inning, the Somerset Patriots on top of the Camden River Sharks 2-0. And in the top of the 8th, the Lancaster Barnstormers are ahead of the Bridgeport Bluefish 5-0. Both of those games really ripping through. Very quick pace, and that's really been one of the storylines over the last week here in the Atlantic League with the new pace of play initiative. As the 2-1 to Lentini is lifted to deep right center field. Over is Mitchell in front of the warning track. He has time and makes the catch for out number 1. That'll bring up Brendan Harris, who's been on base 2 times and has scored the only run in this ballgame. He doubled in the first inning, walked in the 5th, and came around to score in the 2-out RBI single from Adam Bailey. The game earlier today between the Skeeters and the Revolution went 2 hours and 21 minutes. And with this new pace of play initiative, the pace of the game has really quickened. And sure, it's a combination of both the new rules and some very strong pitching performances from all of these teams, as we've had lower scoring games since this initiative really took place. As the first pitch to Harris misses outside, 1-0, but still you can't argue with the results so far. The 1-1 to Harris on the outside corner for a strike. 1-1. Games have just simply been quicker. And you have to look no further than the Ducks, and specifically their 3-game series against the York Revolution over the weekend, to see a perfect example of how quickly these games have been going. The 1-1 to Harris on the outside corner for a strike. 1-2. The Ducks set in 2 consecutive games, the Ducks set season lows in terms of the duration of a ball game, as Harris fouls one off down the first base line to stay alive. And the Saturday night ball game against the Revolution, the Ducks and the Revs played for just 2 hours and 21 minutes en route to a 4-1 Ducks victory. At the time, that was the shortest game played by the Ducks this season. The 1-2 here from Corpy is lined into right center field, and that's going to drop in for a base hit. Brendan Harris's 2nd hit of the ball game. It's the 3rd time he's been on base. And it's the 2nd consecutive game for Brendan Harris in which he's had 2 hits. And the Ducks with a 1-out base runner in the top of the 7th for Lou Ford. It's now Brendan Harris's 17th multi-hit game this season. Well, sorry, 17th 2-hit game, his 20th multi-hit game. But back to the duration of the games. After Long Island had played for 2 hours and 21 minutes on Saturday, the next day, the Sunday afternoon at the Duck Pond, Long Island played for just 2 hours and 13 minutes against the Revs. So on consecutive days, they set new season highs season lows, I should say, for the duration of games. As here, the fastball to Ford at the knees for a called strike, 0-1. So we certainly have seen quicker ball games since the new pace of play initiatives have taken place. The 0-1 from Corpy, fastball misses inside, 1-1. A couple of the big reasons why, a couple of the new rules. For starters, pitchers in between innings are only allowed 6 warm-up pitches compared to 8. I think that has really sped things up for both teams. As the 1-1 here to Ford misses outside, 2-1. And also, the fact now that teams are only allowed 3 mound visits that do not result in pitching changes over the course of the entire game has really caused for more strategy for the managers and the coaches for each team. The 2-1 to Ford is lined to right center field, but over is Walton. Has space and he makes the catch. As Harris will retreat to first base. Now 2 away in the top of the 7th. And that'll bring up Bill Hall, who's 0 for 3 today. Because before this new pace of play initiative in the Atlantic League, a pitching coach or a catcher could come out to the mound as many times as they wanted over the course of an inning to try to calm down their pitcher and talk strategy. An infielder could come over and talk things over with the pitcher, and that would significantly slow down the pace of the game. But no longer do you have that, and specifically no longer do you have that in the early goings of a ball game. Because if a coach or a catcher wants to go out and have a meeting on the mound, as the first pitch here to Bill Hall is in there for a strike 0-1, you got to really know that this is a situation in which you need to talk to the pitcher. So all those in-between area situations where you probably would want to talk to your pitcher but you don't need to, oftentimes now managers are deciding not to go out to talk things over. As the fastball here misses low, 1-1. Because if you have a meeting on the mound early in the ball game, then that might take an opportunity away from a situation where you would need to have a meeting on the mound later in the ball game. But now you don't have that option. Of course, the penalty for having more than 3 mound visits without resulting in a pitching change as Hall swings through the fastball 1-2. The penalty is just 1 ball, so it's not like it's a very harsh penalty, but still it has installed the mindset for these coaches that you can't, well, at least under the new rules, you got to certainly be cognizant of the situations in which you go out and talk to your infield. The 1-2 from Corpy is a fastball that misses inside to Hall, and the count runs even now to 2 balls and 2 strikes. I think that has played a really large role into why some of these games have started to see a decrease in duration. The 2-2 from Corpy. Fisted foul by Hall. Bill's able to stay alive. 1-0's the score. The Ducks on top of the Blue Crabs here in the top of the 7th inning. Thank you so much for joining us here in this Thursday evening broadcast from Waldorf, Maryland, about 45 minutes south of our nation's capital. Second game of a 3-game series between these two sides. We'll finish off here for the final game in the regular season at Waldorf, Maryland between these two teams tomorrow night. As Hall takes a changeup off the plate, and the count runs full of 3-2. It'll be John Brownell on the mound for Long Island against Gabby Hernandez for the Blue Crabs. First pitch at 7:05. Coverage begins at 6:50 on Long Island's Home for News, Traffic, and Weather, 103.9 FM LI News Radio. Here's the 3-2 to Hall. Misses upstairs, ball 4. 5th walk drawn by Ducks batters today, and fans, that's another Municipal Credit Union walk with a purpose. Every time a Ducks batter walks, the Quackerjack Foundation wins. So it's the first time that Hall's been on base today, and the Ducks now with 2 out and 2 on for Adam Bailey, who has 2 for 3 today to pace the Ducks bats. Had a ground rule double down the right field line in the 4th inning and a 2-out RBI single in the top of the 5th, which has provided the difference in this ball game. Both teams have had their fair share of scoring opportunities, but only the Adam Bailey 2-out single in the 5th has provided a run. First pitch to Bailey. Curveball misses inside as Bailey spins out of the way, 1-0. Wade Corpy came into the ballgame for the Blue Crabs back in the in the 5th inning, top of the 5th inning. Forced Bill Hall to ground into a double play before allowing the 2-out RBI base hit to Bailey. As here, Bailey skies one foul down the 3rd base line out of play, and the count moves to 1-1. Corpy worked a 1-2-3 top of the 6th inning, but has found himself in a little more danger here in the top of the 7th. A 1-out base hit to Brendan Harris and a 2-out walk to Bill Hall has put 2 runners on with 2 away. Lefty on lefty matchup here, the 1-1 to Bailey. Check swing, fastball low and outside, did not go around, says the 3rd base umpire Chris Green, and the count moves to 2-1. Getting a light crowd on hand here at Regency Furniture Stadium. The official attendance announced tonight at 2,555. Southern Maryland towards the bottom of the league in attendance. The Ducks towards the top. The 2-1 from Corpy. Swung on, grounded up the middle into a diving stop made by Stevens. His throw to first is in time. Well, that robs Adam Bailey of a base hit and keeps us at a 1-0 ball game. A fine defensive play made by Bobby Stevens. So no runs for Long Island here in the top of the 7th. On 1 hit, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. We'll stretch and then move to the bottom of the 7th inning with the Ducks on top 1-0 on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Hi, this is shortstop Dan Lyons. You can follow me on Twitter at @TheDannyLyons, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
It's your money, and you have the power to save it. Make a few simple changes, and you can use less electricity and save real money. By installing Energy Star light bulbs and products for your home, you can save hundreds of dollars each year. At PSEG Long Island, we're working hard to serve you in the way you deserve. Check out our energy-saving tips and tools at pseglyny.com/save money.
Baseball fans, the Long Island Ducks mobile app has officially arrived. Powered by Clear Vision Apps, it's your one-stop shop for all things Ducks baseball. Buy tickets straight from your mobile device. Receive game status updates with push notifications. Check out up-to-the-minute news and scores and interact with the Ducks on social media. Best of all, it's free. Download the Ducks mobile app today by visiting the App Store on your Apple-powered device or Google Play on your Android-powered device. The Long Island Ducks mobile app, with you wherever you flock to.
John Malone is the new pitcher for Long Island as we move to the bottom of the 7th inning. Mitch Talbot's day has come to a close. 6 innings of shutout ball from the former big leaguer, in which he allows 5 hits, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts, and Talbot exits in line for the victory, as John Malone now will enter and try to preserve this 1-0 lead for the Ducks. Malone is 0-3 on the year with a 4.13 ERA, 24 appearances. He's recorded 9 saves, but has since been removed from his closer role, and now is working as a middle reliever trying to hold this lead for the Ducks. 24 innings of work for the former big leaguer Malone. He's allowed 11 runs on 28 hits, 9 walks against 18 strikeouts. And here Malone will work against the bottom of the order for the Blue Crabs. Addison Maruzak, followed by James Skelton and Amadeo Zezueta. A run on 6 hits, 1 error for the Ducks. No runs on 5 hits and no errors for the Blue Crabs. Wade Corpy has thrown 46 pitches in his 3 innings of relief for Southern Maryland, so his night, I should say, might be coming to a close, as the first pitch from Malone's a fastball in there for a called strike, 0-1. Maruzak is 1 for 2 today, singled his last time up. The 0-1 from Malone, I should say, is upstairs for a ball, 1-1. John Malone hoping to keep the Blue Crabs off the scoreboard and help out Mitch Talbot, who's currently in line for his 3rd win of the season with the Ducks. The 1-1. Fastball on the outside corner for a strike. 1-2. It's the 2nd consecutive game in which Long Island has gotten 6 strong innings from their starting pitcher. Yesterday, Sean Garceau went 6 innings of 1-run ball en route to his 9th win of the season. Tonight, it's Mitch Talbot tossing 6 shutout innings for Long Island. The 1-2 here to Maruzak just misses outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's the first time this season that Talbot is not allowed a run in an appearance. And Ducks bullpen now will try to keep the Blue Crabs off the scoreboard. The 2-2 from Malone. Fastball misses upstairs. And that'll run the count full now at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Since John Malone had been removed from his role as the closer, Ducks have sort of gone by with a committee of Eric Neeson, Brett Lauren, and David Kopp, and now it looks like it's Lauren and Kopp who are exchanging opportunities to be the closer as Maruzak flies one foul down the first base line, and It'll land out of play, so the count remains full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Yesterday, Kevin Baez used a combination of Brett Lauren and David Kopp to get the final 5 outs of the ball game. Ducks led 8-1 moving into the bottom of the 8th inning, but Eric Neeson allowed 3 runs in a third of an inning of relief before Lauren and Kopp combined to retire the final 5, well, get the final 5 outs to end the ball game. As Maruzak once again fouls one off down the first baseline. Count holds at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Long turn at bat here from Addison Maruzak against John Malone to lead off the bottom of the 7th inning. Once again, the payoff pitch. Fastball fouled off. Maruzak just fighting and fighting against Malone here to stay alive. It's Maruzak, Skelton, and Zazweda due up here. Southern Maryland has had plenty of opportunities to score in tonight's ball game. Arguably the best opportunities coming both in the 1st and 3rd innings. But both times Mitch Talbot was able to negotiate his way out of the inning without allowing a run. Here the 3-2. Fastball misses upstairs, ball 4. A long at bat worked by Addison Maruzak, and eventually he wins the battle. First walk allowed by John Malone. And now that'll bring up James Skelton, who's 0 for 2 today. Check the out-of-town scoreboard in the Atlantic League once again, and again, the Sugar Land Skeeters defeated the York Revolution 3-1 earlier today. Somerset Patriots on top of the River Sharks 2-0 in the top of the 8th, and the Barnstormers in front of the Bridgeport Bluefish 5-0 in the bottom of the 8th at the ballpark at Harbor Yard. And now we'll see if the Blue Crabs try to play some small ball. Brendan Harris creeps in at third base with James Skelton at the plate. Skelton does not square around to bunt as the first pitch fastball misses upstairs 1-0. Malone works a little more methodically on the mound than Mitch Talbot does. Takes his time before every pitch. Maruzak represents solid speed, leading off of first base, held on by Joash Brodeen, the 1-0. Fastball misses upstairs, 2 balls and no strikes. So Malone now struggling to find the strike zone here, with the Ducks holding on to a 1-run lead in the bottom of the 7th inning. Every game for the rest of the season so important for Long Island. The importance really being magnified after the 13-game losing streak earlier in the second half. Here's the 2-0 from Malone. Fastball letter high for a called strike, 2-1. Amadeo Zazweda awaiting on deck. Middle infield for Long Island plays a double play depth, but corner infielders playing in against Skelton. Harris still along the infield grass as the 2-1 misses upstairs. 3 balls and 1 strike. Looks like Malone throwing very hard on the mound, but he's consistently been missing with his fastball upstairs. And now Skelton finds himself ahead in a hitter's count here, 3-1. From the stretch, the 3-1 pitch. Misses upstairs, ball 4. All 4 balls in that at bat to James Skelton were fastballs that missed high. So now the Blue Crabs have runners at first and second base with nobody out, as John Malone has walked the first 2 batters that he's faced in this outing. And now Zazweda at the plate, who had a base hit to left field in the 3rd inning and narrowly missed a 2-run home run in the 5th. Flew out to deep left field. And now Kevin Baez will come out to the mound once Zazweda was announced into the ball game. See if KB decides to make a pitching change or if this will just be one of his 3 timeouts used in this ball game. And it looks like he'll bring the entire infield in just to talk things over. So a little bit of strategy, a little bit of giving Malone an opportunity to cool off. So that's one of 3 timeouts used by the Ducks in tonight's ball game, as no pitching change is made. Long Island does have some movement going on down in their bullpen. Tough to see who it is that's getting loose from our vantage point here in the press box. But Malone remains in the ballgame. You got to imagine that Zazueta's thinking about bunting here. Brodin plays very in at first base, as does Harris at third. Zazueta squares around already. Pulls the bat back, swinging away, and he grounds it past Cody Puckett into center field. Maruzak rounding third. He will come home and score without a throw. A slap base hit from Amadeo Zazueta that gets past Cody Puckett, who's creeping in at second base. An RBI single for Zazueta, his 26th run batted in of the season. And we're all tied up at 1 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Well, the Ducks were expecting bunt, and Zazueta squared around very early before Malone even really came set from the stretch. And, you know, it's easy for me to say it now in hindsight, but you could sort of see that coming from Zazueta after Baez had come out and talked strategy with the bullpen. Now Kevin will come out for the second time this inning, and that means that Malone's day has come to a close. He fails to record an out after facing 3 batters. He walks 2 and gives up a single to Zazueta. So Malone will exit, and we'll have a pitching change as it looks like Tommy Organ is going to come into the ballgame for Long Island, make his second appearance with the Ducks this season. He'll work against the left-handed hitting Jermaine Mitchell when we return in what is now a tie ball game in the bottom of the 7th inning on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Hi, this is right-handed pitcher Josh Lansford, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
It's your money, and you have the power to save it. Make a few simple changes, and you can use less electricity and save real money. By installing Energy Star light bulbs and products for your home, you can save hundreds of dollars each year. At PSEG Long Island, we're working hard to serve you in the way you deserve. Check out our energy-saving tips and tools at pseglinY.com/savemoney.
Hey Ducks fans, stay up to date with Long Island's hometown team by visiting Quack of the Bat, the official blog of the Long Island Ducks. Quack of the Bat will bring Ducks fans beyond the headlines with in-depth feature articles, breaking news stories, game previews, post-game wrap-ups, and so much more. Interact with the team during the entire 15th anniversary season through live chats with Ducks players and exclusive video clips. Check out the blog today at quackofthebat.wordpress.com. Quack of the Bat, the official blog of the Long Island Ducks. Life is better here.
Tommy Organ's the new pitcher for Long Island as we resume here in the bottom of the 7th inning. The Blue Crabs have had all 3 of the first batters in this inning reach base. John Malone walks Addison Maruzak, walks James Skelton, and then gives up a base hit to Amadeo Zazueta on a ground ball up the middle, with the infield playing in, expecting a bunt. So runners at first and second and nobody out. The Blue Crabs have tied this ball game up at 1. And we move back to the top of the order in Jermaine Mitchell, a left-handed batter to work now against the left-handed relief pitcher Tommy Organ, making his second appearance of the season with the Ducks. Once again, Long Island will bring the infield in, expecting a bunt from Mitchell. We'll see how the Blue Crabs play it. Mitchell squares, and the fastball is on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Harris playing very in at third base. Brodin playing in at first. And it looks like on the attempt, Cody Puckett's making a run towards first base. It's a likely cover if Mitchell's able to get the bunt down. Organ is 6'5" southpaw, works from the mound and works from the stretch, the 0-1. Mitchell drops a bunt down the third base line. It will roll foul. And the guy now moves to 0-2. We'll see if Mitchell's asked to bunt once again with an 0-2 count. And we'll see how the Ducks play their infield here. 1-1's the score with nobody out in the bottom of the 7th inning, and the Blue Crabs with runners at first and second. So Mitch Talbot will now receive a no decision despite allowing no runs over 6 innings of work. Neither starting pitcher in tonight's ballgame will factor into the decision after Jake Brown did not allow a run over 3 1/3 innings. Game solely in the hands of the bullpen from here on out. The 0-2 to Mitchell. Swinging away, he grounds it over to second. Puckett can't feel the bad hop. It deflects off his chest and rolls into right field. In to score all the way from second base is James Skelton. Couldn't have been a double play for the Ducks. Instead, it's an error from Cody Puckett, the second error of the ballgame for Long Island. And now the Blue Crabs are in front 2-1. So Mitchell reaches on the E4. Skelton scores from second base and on to third. Going first to third is Amadeo Zazueta. All on the error from Cody Puckett. Now the Blue Crabs are in front 2-1. That'll bring up Bobby Stevens, right-handed hitting batter. Oregon will remain in the ballgame to face the righty with the left-handed hitting Jake Opitz awaiting on deck. And Oregon will throw over to first base. Back standing safely is Mitchell. So the wheels have come off for Long Island here in the bottom of the 7th. 2 walks. A soft single for Zazueta with the infield drawn in. And a fielding error from Cody Puckett has put the Blue Crabs in front 2-1. First pitch from Oregon. Fastball in there for a called strike, 0-1. Well, it was a ground ball to Puckett, and it hit him right in the chest. It took a funny hop at the last second, so Puckett was in front of it. Tough chance there for Cody, but if he had fielded it cleanly, very well could have been a 4-6-3 double play. And this inning would have a whole different tune to it. The 0-1 from Oregon is fouled off to the backstop, and the count now moves to 0-2. Stevens is 1 for 3 today. Grounded into 2 fielders' choices and singled his last time up. And now the Ducks find themselves trailing 2-1 here in the last of the 7th. We were scoreless until the top of the 5th when an RBI single from Adam Bailey with 2 out put the Ducks in front. The 0-2 here from Oregon. Check swing fastball, he went around, says the home plate umpire Kurt Brannon. And that's a strikeout for Tommy Oregon. His 3rd strikeout as a member of the Ducks. 1 away now in the bottom of the 7th, and that'll bring up left-handed hitting number 3 batter Jake Opitz. Opitz is 1 for 3 today. Singled back in the 1st inning on a ground ball to the shortstop Dan Lyons that very well could have been scored an error. Instead, it was a ruled base hit. Opitz then flew out to center field in the 3rd and popped up to the shortstop Lyons in the 6th. Oregon from the stretch. First pitch to Opitz. Curveball misses well outside. A nice block made by Brandon Bant. That holds Zazueta at 3rd, and the count's 1-0. Zazueta leads off of 3rd base. Jermaine Mitchell off of 1st. 1 out, bottom of the 7th inning. Opitz at the plate. Oregon on the mound. All 2 runs that have scored in this inning belong to John Malone. As the 1-0 here is grounded softly to the first baseman Brodin. He charges infield, throws home, and in front of home plate, Zazueta doesn't even make an attempt to touch the base as he's tagged out by Brandon Bant. It'll be a fielder's choice for Jake Opitz. 3-2. Nice play there from Brodin. And now Lance Burkhart's going to come out and argue that Brandon Bant potentially was blocking home plate and not giving an opportunity for Amadeo Zazueta to score. So it looked like Zazueta was scared to really come home because he got about 5 feet in front of home plate and then just stopped short. Instead of sliding, he didn't even make an attempt to run into Brandon Bant. Of course, with the new emphasis on safety in both the Atlantic League and Major League Baseball, you're not supposed to run over a catcher anymore, but nor is a catcher supposed to block a plate and not give an opportunity for a base runner to at least try and slide in. So an interesting development there, but the call will hold as it was on the field. 2 away now, runners at 1st and 2nd for the Blue Crabs, and Luke Mertens the batter. First pitch from Oregon, a fastball on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Looked like Zezueta was confused as to what exactly to do towards home plate on that previous play. Didn't even make an attempt to slide. He just stopped running and made an easy tag for Brandon Bance. The 0-1 from Oregon. Fastball misses outside, 1-1. Granted, it did look like Bance was blocking a significant part of home plate. But, I mean, if Zezueta wanted to, he could have found his way to try to slide around Bance. He just didn't make any effort whatsoever. Now Oregon will step off the mound as Mitchell tracks back to second base. Mitchell's off of second and Opitz off of first with 2 out. Blue Krebs have already scored 2 runs here in the bottom of the 7th inning to turn a 1-0 deficit into a 2-1 lead. Oregon looking to play the role of damage control. A 1-1. Curveball on the inside corner for a called strike, 1-2. John Malone started off this inning. Walked the first 2 batters he faced before allowing a base hit to Amadeo Zezueta to tie up the ballgame. Oregon then entered. On the first batter he faced, Jermaine Mitchell grounded a ball over to second base. Puckett failed to field it cleanly. And its score on the plate from second base was James Skelton. And that put the Blue Crabs in front 2-1. Here Merton takes the curveball inside. And that'll run the count even. Now Deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 away. Infield plays back with 2 out. Merton's 0 for 2 today, reached in his last at bat on a hit batsman. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Oregon comes on, he strikes out Luke Merton. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Tommy Oregon. But the Blue Crabs do grab a lead on an RBI single from Amadeo Zezueta and a run-scoring error off the bat of Jermaine Mitchell. 2-1 Blue Crabs as we move to the top of the 8th. On the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Hi, this is manager Kevin Baez, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Beautify your patio, walkway, driveway, or pool surround with Nicolak paving stones and walls. Nicolak specially formulated paver shield offers extra surface wear protection and color enhancement throughout the thickness of the paver. Paver shield guarantees that your pavers will look great for years to come. Bring home the elegance with Nicolak. Visit the Nicolak Design Center, Sunrise Highway, Lindenhurst, or Nicolak.com.
Let Nicolak Pavers, Nicolak Pavers, pave your way.
Life without Ducks baseball.
Emily, quit texting. James, get off the iPad. Honey, pick a channel.
Life with Ducks baseball.
Bethpage Ballpark is set. Quackerjack is ready, and the flock is prepared to defend their title. All we need is you. For game times, promos, and tickets, visit liducks.com.
It's a blast. Now that's more like it.
Long Island Ducks baseball. Life is better here.
Justin Berg is the new pitcher for the Blue Crabs as we return here for the top of the 8th inning. Mark Schwartz on the call on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball. Hey, Ducks fans, do you want frequent updates on team transactions, scores, store specials, and the status of upcoming games? Then follow the Long Island Ducks on Twitter at twitter.com/LIDucks. With Twitter, the faithful flock will also be able to follow their Ducks and find out more information regarding nightly promotions, player signings, league activities, and more. The Ducks are tweeting right now, and you can follow along at twitter.com/LIDucks. So Cody Puckett will lead things off for the flock here in the top of the 8th. It'll be Puckett followed by Brandon Bance and Joash Brodin. The 6, 7, 8 batters in the order for the flock, as Long Island now trails 2-1 against Southern Maryland. Puckett's 1 for 3 today. Had a home run in last night's ball game. First pitch from Berg, a fastball in the inside corner for a strike, 0-1. Southern Maryland with 2 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning on an RBI single from Amadeo Zezueta and a run-scoring error off the bat of Jermaine Mitchell as Puckett grounds one foul down the first base line here, 0-2. Both runs in the inning charged against John Malone. as Tommy Organ came in and got the final 3 outs, playing a little role of damage control there, but Malone struggles mightily. He doesn't record an out in this outing and allows 2 runs. Puckett will ask for time. It's granted to him by Kurt Brannon, and now quickly steps back in. Berg taking his time on the mound, works from the stretch with nobody on base. The 0-2. Fastball fouled off, and the count holds. Overall, 2 runs on 6 hits, no errors for Southern Maryland. 1 run on 6 hits and 2 errors for Long Island. The Ducks' lone run coming in the top of the 5th on a 2-out RBI base hit from Adam Bailey. Berg from the stretch, the 0-2. Curveball swung on and lifted to right field. In comes Jamar Walton, and he'll make the catch for out number 1. That'll bring up Brandon Bance, who's 0 for 2 today with a walk. Berg has made 6 relief appearances with the Blue Crabs this year. He's 0-1 with a 5.06 ERA, having allowed 3 runs on 9 hits, 3 walks and 3 strikeouts in 5 1/3 innings of work. Blue Crabs playing at a no doubles defense here, as the first pitch to Bance is a curveball that drops in for a strike, 0-1. Third baseman Jake Opitz guarding the line. Middle infield playing back along the edge of the infield dirt and the outfield grass. Ziegler guarding the line over at first base, as the 0-1 to Bance is in there for a strike, 0-2. And all 3 outfielders playing deep. Jamar Walton, not as deep in right field, but still fairly deep. The left fielder Addison Maruzak and the center fielder Jermaine Mitchell playing quite deep against Bance. The 0-2 here is grounded foul. And the former big leaguer is able to stay alive in the count. This is the second game of a 3-game series between these two sides. The 0-2 from Berg. Swung on and grounded softly over to first. Ziegler fields cleanly, and he'll step on the bag himself for the second out. So with 3 unassisted retires Brandon Bance. Now 2 out and nobody on here in the top of the 8th, and that'll bring up Joash Brodin, who's 0 for 1, but he's been on base 2 times. 2 walks drawn by Brodin in this contest. And for the 4th consecutive at-bat, Brodin will switch back to the left side. He hit right-handed in the 2nd inning, left-handed in the 4th, right-handed in the 6th, and now left-handed once again here in the 8th. Such are the perils of being a switch hitter, I suppose. As the first pitch to Brodin's a fastball that misses inside, 1-0. Joash hitting .244 this year with 5 home runs and 46 RBI. Infield shaded slightly towards the right side against Brodin. Shortstop Bobby Stevens is shaded towards the second base bag, as the 1-0 is at the knees for a called strike, 1-1. Now Jamar Walton's playing a little deeper over in right field, and all 3 outfielders play deep as the no-doubles defense continues for the Blue Crabs. The 1-1. Swung on and grounded foul. Brodin falls behind in the count, 1-2. Comfortable evening here in Waldorf, Maryland. A light crowd at Regency Furniture Stadium, but fine weather to play some Atlantic League baseball. Berg from the stretch, the 1-2. Misses inside, and it comes in and hits Brodin. Not what Berg was looking to do there. He had a 2-strike count with 2 out and nobody on base, but he comes inside and hits Joash Brodin. And now the Ducks have the tying run on base, and they'll bring up the number 9 batter in the order, Dan Lyons. It's the first hit batsman thrown by a Blue Crabs pitcher in this series. Mitch Talbot had hit Luke Merton earlier in this ballgame, so it's the second hit batsman of the ballgame. And now Dan Lyons will step in. He's 0 for 3 today. 1 for 8 now in this series. And Brodin leads off at first. We'll see if Joash tries to steal second base. He has 14 steals on the year. First pitch to Lyons, a fastball in there for a strike, 0-1. Certainly a situation where Brodeen could think about trying to steal a base and try to get into scoring position for Lions, who has 27 runs batted in this season. Ducks trailing by 1 run with 2 out in the top of the 8th inning. Brodeen held on by Ziegler. He takes off here as Lions swings through the fastball. The throw down to second, not in time. Joash Brodeen steals his 15th base of the season right on cue. And now, despite Lions looking at an 0-2 count, the Ducks do have the tying run in scoring position. Close play, a strong throw from James Skelton, but Brodeen able to slide in and beat the tag. So Brodeen now 15 of 18 on the base paths this year. That was a steal that he had to have, that probably a lot in the ballpark knew he was going to take. Now he'll lead off of second base. Berg from the stretch. The 0-2 is grounded softly over to second. Zazweda in front. On to first it goes, and that will retire the side. So despite a 2-out base runner for the Ducks, they fail to capitalize. No runs on no hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. Move to the bottom of the 8th inning with the Blue Crabs on top 2-1 over the Ducks on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Hey fans, this is pitcher Brett Lauren, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
James Simmons is going back. He is looking up, and on Bark in the Park Night, that one is gone and reaches a kennel in Central Islip. That was another home run for the Ducks. And Duck fans, what's more fun than a home run that helps the Ducks win a game? How about a homer that helps the community win? Chappie's Funeral Home and the Long Island Ducks have once again teamed up for the Chappie's Home Run Challenge. If the Ducks hit 100 homers this season, Chappie's Funeral Home will donate $5,000 to the Quackerjack Foundation. So every time a Ducks hitter goes deep this season, watch for the Chappie's Challenge home run count on the scoreboard. And if we reach 100, we're all a winner. Chappie's Funeral Home, where caring for others is a family tradition.
Labor is on the move. PEF.
They are the Public Employees Federation.
They know it's time for workers to unite, to speak out, to demand government accountability for the way public services are delivered.
They provide healthcare services, mental health services, and services to the developmentally disabled.
They're the Public Employees Federation, PEF.
The problem-solving union. PEF is the union that cares for the community. Learn more at pef.org. PEF. Labor on the move.
Sergio Perez is the new pitcher for Long Island as we return here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Perez, the 4th pitcher used by the Ducks today. Another one of the newcomers for Long Island, along with Tommy Organ and Evan Crawford, 3 of the recently acquired players. Perez will make his 2nd appearance of the season now for the Ducks. Worked 1 scoreless inning back at home against the York Revolution on Monday, in which he did not allow a run on 1 hit, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. Here, Perez will work against the 5, 6, 7 batters for the Blue Crabs. C.J. Ziegler, Jamar Walton, and Addison Maruzak due up. Blue Crabs holding a 2-1 lead here in the bottom of the 8th. 2 runs on 6 hits. No errors for Southern Maryland. 1 run on 6 hits, and 2 errors for the Ducks. As now the Blue Crabs will look for some insurance runs to make it a little easier on their newfound closer, Anthony Slama. Of course, the Blue Crabs had the longtime closer, Jim Ed Warden, who retired earlier this month, or was it earlier this season, I should say, about a couple of weeks ago. As the first pitch here to Ziegler is a fastball on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Since Jim Ed Warden retired, Slama has been 4 for 4 in save opportunities for the Blue Crabs, so he'll likely have a save opportunity come the top of the 9th, and he'll have to work against the top of the order for the Ducks. Here's Sergio Perez trying to maintain just this 1-run deficit as the slider misses outside to Ziegler, 1-1. Ziegler's 0 for 2 today with a walk. Had a strong game yesterday, but has been a little more quiet tonight. Perez from the windup, the 1-1. Fastball misses inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Sergio, 6'3", 230-pound right-handed relief pitcher from Tampa, Florida. Last year played for Puebla in the Mexican League. Here's a 2-1. Slider misses outside. 3 balls and 1 strike now. Infield plays back. Outfield plays deep against Ziegler, especially Adam Bailey over and left, as the 3-1 fastball misses outside, ball 4. So Perez walks the first batter that he faces. The Blue Crabs with the leadoff base runner on here in the bottom of the 8th inning, and that'll bring up Jamar Walton, who's 0 for 3 so far today. Again, Southern Maryland looking for some insurance runs here. The Ducks own the season series so far, 10 games to 2 in the first 12 played between these two sides. This is the last trip to Regency Furniture Stadium for Long Island in the 2014 regular season. First pitch here to Walton, a fastball misses low and inside, 1-0. The Ducks are 6-2 so far at Regency Furniture Stadium. They've played very well against the Blue Crabs this season. Perez from the stretch here, the 1-0. Fastball on the outside corner for a called strike, 1-1. Again, in the top of the 9th inning, the Ducks will have the top of their order due up. Phelan Lentini, Brendan Harris, and Lou Ford with an opportunity to try to even up this ball game or potentially take the lead in this second game of this 3-game series. Here Perez works from the stretch with Walton at the plate. Righty on lefty matchup. The 1-1 is grounded over to second, could be 2. Puckett fields onto second base for 1, and because softly hit, Lyons doesn't have an opportunity to throw over to first. So it's just a fielder's choice for Jamar Walton. 4-6 if you're keeping track at home. That retires Ziegler from the base paths. Puts Walton at first and now brings up Addison Maruzak. Maruzak's been on base 2 times tonight, including scoring the first run for the Blue Crabs. Started off the bottom of the 7th inning rally for Southern Maryland with a walk against John Malone. It was a long at-bat, which Maruzak won. First pitch curveball from Perez misses inside, 1-0. Malone had drawn the count full with Maruzak before Addison fouled off 3 consecutive pitches and eventually drew the walk. As Perez works from the stretch here, fastball on the outside corner for a strike, 1-1. And that was the long at-bat that really got the inning off to a tough start for Malone, who had only faced 3 batters and failed to record an out. But 2 of the 3 batters he faced came in to score. And right now it's Malone that's on the hook for the loss. The 1-1 to Maruzak's in there for a called strike, 1-2. James Skelton awaits on deck. Infield plays a double play depth with 1 away. Perez from the stretch, the 1-2. Check swing, and the ball rolls foul down the third base line. Count stays at 1-2. Checking the out-of-town scoreboard again in the Atlantic League, we have another game that has gone final. The Lancaster Barnstormers defeat the Bridgeport Bluefish 5-0 at the ballpark at Harbor Yard in a 2-hour and 19-minute ball game. Another very quick game in the Atlantic League, thanks in large part to the new Pace of Play initiative. 2 games have gone final already tonight, and their average duration was 2 hours and 20 minutes as Perez strikes out Maruzak swinging on the slider. 2 away now in the bottom of the 8th, and that'll bring up James Skelton. Nice off-speed pitch there from Perez. Got Maruzak well out in front. The Skeeters and the Revolution have already gone final. They played a 2-hour and 21-minute ball game in which Sugar Land won 3-1. And right now it's the Somerset Patriots on top of the Camden River Sharks, 2-0 in the top of the 9th inning at TD Bank Ballpark in Bridgewater, New Jersey. Here it's the bottom of the 8th inning at Regency Furniture Stadium, Waldorf, Maryland, with the Blue Crabs on top 2-1, as the curveball to James Skelton drops in for a called strike, 0-1. Skelton, a left-handed batter, working against the righty Sergio Perez. Trying to work his way through the bottom of the 8th and keep this at a 1-run ball game. Set up an opportunity for the Ducks to mount a comeback in the top of the 9th. The 0-1 to Skelton is fouled off over the backstop out of play. And Skelton has fallen behind now, 0-2. Skelton's 0 for 2 today. He walked his last time up against John Malone and eventually came around to score on a fielding error from Cody Puckett. A ground ball hit from Jermaine Mitchell. And it's that play that has provided the difference now in this ballgame, with the Blue Crabs on top 2-1. The 0-2 pitch to Skelton, a curveball that misses low. Skelton checked his swing, did not go around. Count now moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Amadeo Zezueta awaits on deck. He's had a strong day at the plate. He's hoping for an opportunity, but Perez trying to retire Skelton here. With Mitchell, well, Walton, I'm sorry, leading off of first base. Here, Walton takes off. Changeup misses outside. Bance's throw down to second. The tag in time, and that retires the side. Strong throw there from Brandon Bance. Catches Jamar Walton trying to steal second base. So no runs for the Blue Crabs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. No hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. Last chance for the Ducks as we move to the top of the 9th, with Long Island trailing 2-1 on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Hi, this is Steve Foucault, pitching coach for the Ducks. You're listening to Ducks Baseball on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Hi, I'm former Major Leaguer John Franco. Growing up in Brooklyn, I dreamed of playing professional baseball. My dad, a city employee, worked hard so I could live out that dream. The team at MCU is a lot like my dad. They're New Yorkers you can count on, and they'll work hard to help you reach your financial goals.
Municipal Credit Union has a full range of financial services that make sense in today's economy. Join today. Call 1-866-JOIN-MCU or visit nymcu.org.
MCU, strong, trusted, growing.
Hey, Ducks fans, the official hotel of the Long Island Ducks is the Upsky Long Island Hotel in Hauppauge. It's centrally located on the north shore of Long Island and offers a home away from home for both business and leisure guests. The Upsky Long Island Hotel features an indoor pool, 24-hour business center, a fitness center, and complimentary Wi-Fi in all guest rooms. Enjoy the contemporary American cuisine at the Fountain Grill restaurant or grab a quick bite to eat at Cafe Pronto. Best of all, it's only minutes from Bethpage Ballpark. The Upsky Long Island Hotel, the official hotel of the Long Island Ducks. Call 231-1100 today. That's 631-231-1100.
Anthony Slama is the new pitcher for the Blue Crabs as we return here in the top of the 9th inning. Mark Schwartz on the call on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball. As right now, Blue Crabs leading it over the Ducks by a score of 2-1. Baseball fans, the Long Island Ducks mobile app powered by Clear Vision Apps has officially arrived. Buy tickets and stay up to date on Long Island's hometown team right on your mobile device. Download the app today for free by visiting the App Store on your Apple-powered device or Google Play on your Android-powered device. So here, Anthony Slama will work against the top of the order for Long Island. Phelan Lentini, Brendan Harris, and Lou Ford due up as the Ducks look to try to find one more run to even up this ball game or potentially take the lead. Lentini's 0 for 4. And he'll lead things off, a right-handed batter to work against the righty Slama. From the stretch, first pitch to Lentini, a curveball, breaks in for a called strike. Though Lentini disagrees with the call, and the count's 0-1. Slama, a 6'4", 200-pound right-handed reliever from Orange, California. Last year played with the York Revolution. The 0-1. Curveball misses outside. 1-1. This season, Slama has appeared in 13 games and has not factored into a decision, but has a 1.35 ERA. That's just 2 earned runs in 13 1/3 innings. The 1-1 to Lentini, a curveball on the inside corner for a strike, 1-2. Slum is 4 for 4 in save opportunities. Again, taking the place of the longtime closer for the Blue Crabs, Jim Ed Warden, who was retired from baseball and moved down to Tennessee with his family. Here the 1-2 to Lentini is swung on and missed, strike 3. Lentini now 0 for 5 today, 1 out in the top of the 9th inning, and that'll bring up Brendan Harris, who's been on base 3 times. Harris doubled in the first, walked and scored the Ducks' lone run in the 5th, and singled in the 7th. Right-handed batter to work against the righty Slama. The Blue Crabs still in no doubles defense. Their outfield plays deep, and their corner infielders guard the line while the middle infielders play back. Slama from the stretch with nobody on base. First pitch to Harris. Curveball in there for a called strike, 0-1. On tomorrow night, the Ducks and the Blue Crabs wrap up this series and play the final game between these two sides of Regency Furniture Stadium in the regular season. It'll be John Brownell on the hill for Long Island against Gabby Hernandez for the Blue Crabs, as the fastball here misses low and inside to Harris, 1-1. First pitch at 7:05 tomorrow night. Coverage begins at 6:50 on Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather, 103.9 FM LI News Radio. Harris steps in. He'll bat from the right side against the righty Slama. From the stretch, kicks and fires. The 1-1 misses well outside and low. That ball is in the left-handed batter's box, and the count now moves 2-1. Ducks trying to keep pace with the two teams that they're primarily fighting for with wild card positioning in the Atlantic League. The Sugarland Skeeters already won earlier today, as did the Lancaster Barnstormers. Every game that much more important for the Ducks moving forward, especially after their 13-game losing streak earlier in the second half, as the curveball here misses inside, and the count moves to 3-1. Before that 13-game losing streak, the Ducks were a season-high 13 games above 500 and were very fortuitously placed. Well, not fortuitously, I should say, as the fastball here misses inside to Harris. It's the second walk drawn by Brendan tonight, and fans, that's another Municipal Credit Union walk with a purpose. Every time a Ducks batter walks, the Quackerjack Foundation wins. So Harris continues to draw walks with regularity. And now the Ducks have the tying run on base for the middle of their order due up. Lou Ford will step in. He is 1 for 3 today with a walk and a single that came back in the 5th inning. But before that 13-game losing streak for the Ducks, there were 13 games above 500. And even if you take away that 13-game losing streak and say they played just under 500 ball over that 13-game span, they'd still be in great positioning moving forward in the wild card standings against the Sugarland Skeeters and the Lancaster Barnstormers. But that 13-game losing streak has certainly put a dent into the Ducks' playoff hopes, as the fastball here to Ford led her high for a called strike, 0-1. Meanwhile, the Camden River Sharks tied up the ballgame against the Somerset Patriots in the top of the 9th inning. It's now 2-2 at TD Bank Ballpark heading to the bottom of the 9th. So a blown save there for the Patriots. As here, Slama will throw over to first base and Harris back standing safely. So an interesting development over there between the River Sharks and the Patriots. But here it's the Ducks trailing 2-1, 1 away in the top of the 9th inning. Harris off of first as Ford grounds one over to third, could be 2. Opitz to second for 1, the turn to first, not in time. Lou Ford just able to beat it out down the first base line, hustling as always. And that keeps this ball game alive for at least one more batter for the Ducks. It'll bring the right-handed hitting designated hitter Bill Hall to the plate. So fielder's choice, 5-4. Harris is retired from the base paths, and now the Ducks are down to their final out of the ball game. And up to the plate will come Bill Hall, who's 0 for 3 today, drew a walk his last time up. Certainly has the power to go yard and change the complexion of this ball game with one swing of the bat. Had 16 home runs with the Ducks last season. Back in 2006 with the Milwaukee Brewers, hit 35 home runs. So this is a guy that certainly represents a threat at the plate. Ford will lead off of first base, and Hall will ask for time. Well, Ford's grounded to third, wasn't hit too sharply, so it would have taken a very quick turn from the Blue Crabs to double off Ford. They weren't able to do so, and the Ducks have stayed alive. First pitch here to Hall, a fastball on the inside corner for a strike, 0-1. Southern Maryland looking for what would only be their third win against the Ducks this season. And now the 13th meeting between these two sides. Slama from the stretch, the 0-1. Fastball misses low. 1 ball and 1 strike. We know Long Island would love to have Adam Bailey step to the plate here. It's Bailey awaiting on deck, a left-handed batter. Bailey is 2 for 4. Has had 2 consecutive multi-hit games and has the lone run batted in of tonight's ball game for the Ducks. Here the 1-1 to Hall, misses low, 2-0. Right now, it's Bill Hall trying to bridge that gap, keep the Ducks alive in this ball game. Ford has solid speed. He leads off of first, but this is not a situation where you'd expect him to try to steal second base. Despite the Ducks trailing by 1 run, you don't want to run yourself out of the ball game. The 2-1 here, swing and a miss. Change-up from Slama gets Hall out in front, and now the Ducks are down to their final strike of the ball game. The outfield plays very deep against Hall, basically on the warning track, and the infield plays back as well. Third baseman Jake Opitz guarding the line. Slama works from the stretch, Ford off of first, the 2-2 pitch. Fastball in there for called strike 3, and that ends the ball game. Bill Hall strikes out looking, and the Blue Crabs win tonight's ball game by a final score of 2-1. We'll take a break, come back, and wrap up the night that was on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Hey fans, this is pitcher Bobby Blevins, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Few places on Earth offer the charm and excitement of Fire Island. At Fire Island Ferries, located conveniently at 99 Maple Avenue in Bay Shore, they offer convenient travel to Fire Island 7 days a week. Fire Island is quickly becoming a top destination for families of all ages. Experience the informal, carefree communities, the dazzling night scene, enjoy fine dining, or climb to the top of one of the tallest lighthouses in the United States. But there's only one way to get there, by calling Fire Island Ferries at 631-665-3600 today. For fare and scheduling information, please visit FireIslandFerries.com.
Bring your birthday to the ballpark this season and celebrate with the flock. Kona Ice birthday party packages with the Long Island Ducks are now available for the 2014 season. Each package includes 10 box seats, a commemorative birthday t-shirt and autographed baseball, a pizza and Kona Ice party in the Hebrew National Picnic area, and so much more. Best of all, the birthday child will stand on the dugout while the entire crowd sings happy birthday. Reserve your party today by calling 631-940-3825 and ask for the group sales department. Kona Ice birthday parties with the Long Island Ducks, a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
And welcome back to Regency Furniture Stadium. Mark Schwartz here as the Ducks fall to the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs by a final score of 2-1. The Ducks overall now drop to 50-47 on the season, 10-18 in the second half as the Blue Crabs improve to 44-54 overall, 15-13 in the second half. The winning pitcher tonight is Wade Corpy. He improves to 4-2 on the season. The losing pitcher is John Malone, who falls to 0-4 on the season. Anthony Slama gets his 5th save overall this year. We'll go over the game recap here in the Nicolak post-game show, as it was Mitch Talbot making the start for the Ducks against Jake Brown for the Blue Crabs, and Talbot pitched very well for Long Island. He worked 6 innings without allowing a run on 5 hits, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. The Ducks certainly had opportunities to score early and often in this game against Jake Brown, as Long Island had 2 runners on in each of the first 2 innings but failed to capitalize. Brown was eventually taken out of the ballgame midway through the 4th inning after Adam Bailey led off with a double and Cody Puckett flew out to center field, advancing Bailey over to third. Brown went 3 1/3 innings without allowing a run on 3 hits, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Jake Hale came on. He walked Brandon Bance and Joash Brodeen in that bottom of the 4th, but forced Dan Lyons to ground out to third on a fielder's choice, and then Phelan Lentini to ground out to short. The Ducks stranded the bases loaded in the 4th inning, and we remain tied at 0. Long Island would take the lead in the top of the 5th after Brendan Harris led off with a walk and Lou Ford singled. That took out Jake Hall from the ballgame and brought in Wade Corpy, who forced Bill Hall to ground into a 5-4-3 double play, but then Adam Bailey lined a base hit to right center field, scoring Harris from third base and giving the Ducks a 1-0 lead. Corpy would settle down from that point on and keep Long Island off the scoreboard through the 6th and 7th inning. Fast forward now to the bottom of the 7th inning with Mitch Talbot out of the ballgame and John Malone into the ballgame. Malone would struggle mightily. He faced just 3 batters, walked the first 2, Addison Maruzak and James Skelton, before allowing a base hit to Amadeo Zezueta, scoring Maruzak from second base and tying up the ballgame at 1. Malone then exited in favor of Tommy Organ, who came on, and would get the final 3 outs at the bottom of the 7th inning, but not before the Blue Crabs would take the lead. First batter that Organ faced was Jermaine Mitchell, and he forced Jermaine Mitchell to ground over to second base, but Cody Puckett failed to field the ground ball cleanly, ricocheted off of his stomach and into shallow right field. That scored James Skelton from second base and gave the Blue Crabs a 2-1 lead, and that's all that Southern Maryland would need. The Ducks would threaten in the 8th inning after Joash Brodeen, with 2 out, was hit by a pitch and stole second base, but Dan Lyons grounded out to retire the side. And then in the 9th, Anthony Slama came on, allowed a 1-out walk to Brendan Harris. Lou Ford then hit into a fielder's choice to exchange spots with Harris over at first, but Bill Hall would strike out looking, and that would retire the side and end the ball game again. It is Wade Corpy getting the win. He improves to 4-2. Talbot gets the loss. Malone gets the loss, drops to 0-4, and Anthony Slama with his 5th save of the season. We'll take a break, come back, and go over the final time for tonight, hand out the Nicolak post-game honors, and also check out the out-of-town scoreboard for one last time as the Ducks fall to the Blue Crabs by a final score of 2-1 on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Hi, this is right-handed pitcher Josh Lansford, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
It's your money, and you have the power to save it. Make a few simple changes, and you can use less electricity and save real money. By installing Energy Star light bulbs and products for your home, you can save hundreds of dollars each year. At PSEG Long Island, we're working hard to serve you in the way you deserve. Check out our energy-saving tips and tools at pseglinY.com/savemoney.
Hey Ducks fans, stay up to date with Long Island's hometown team by visiting Quack of the Bat, the official blog of the Long Island Ducks. Quack of the Bat will bring Ducks fans beyond the headlines with in-depth feature articles, breaking news stories, game previews, post-game wrap-ups, and so much more. Interact with the team during the entire 15th anniversary season through live chats with Ducks players and exclusive video clips. Check out the blog today at quackofthebat.wordpress.com. Quack of the Bat, the official blog of the Long Island Ducks. Life is better here.
And welcome back to Regency Furniture Stadium for the final time tonight as the Ducks fall to the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs by a final score of 2-1. Time to hand out the Nicolak Player of the Game honors. Tonight, despite the Ducks falling to the Blue Crabs, the Nicolak Player of the Game is Mitch Talbot. In just his 4th start of the season, 6th overall appearance for Long Island, Talbot tosses 6 scoreless innings for the Ducks, yielding just 5 hits, 2 walks, and striking out 3 batters. So Mitch Talbot is tonight's Nicolak Player of the Game winner. Nicolak retaining walls and paving stones, a company synonymous with quality and service in the manufactured concrete industry for almost 50 years. As we go over the out-of-town scoreboard for one final time tonight, again, Sugarland Skeeters defeat the York Revolution 3-1 at Santander Stadium. The Lancaster Barnstormers over the Bridgeport Bluefish 5-0 at the ballpark at Harbor Yard in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Both of those scores adversely helping the Ducks in their fight for wild card positioning in the Atlantic League. And right now, still in the bottom of the 9th inning, the Somerset Patriots and the Camden River Sharks are tied at 2 at TD Bank Ballpark in Bridgewater, New Jersey. So that'll pretty much wrap things up for us here from Southern Maryland. Once again, the Ducks fall by a final score of 2-1 to the Blue Crabs and drop to 50-47 overall this season, while the Blue Crabs improve to 44-54 this year. We'll be back in action tomorrow here at Regency Furniture Stadium for the final game of this 3-game set and the final time that the Ducks go up against the Blue Crabs here in Waldorf in the 2014 regular season. John Brownell will be on the mound for the Ducks against Gabby Hernandez for the Blue Crabs. First pitch at 7:05 tomorrow, with coverage beginning at 6:50 on Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather, 103.9 FM LI News Radio. So for everyone involved with the broadcast, I'm Mark Schwartz, signing off from Waldorf, Maryland, wishing everyone a pleasant rest of your Thursday evening. Good night, everybody.